Time for divine shot, KJ events. This real talk's the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Knicks shit, dripping in Knicks shit. Up in the world, most famous arena with the click. That's the conglomerate. The Knicks real talk, the real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variants, dominant. Paying homage to the cat in the chat. That's where it's at. Cause I'm hearing that you don't care for hyperbole, you straight facts. We interact with the mob, the gods. Up in the pod, the squad, with the side. My entourage be on the job, my energy. Feeling tripping in 10 boots. As they cook my game plan, let my brand salute and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that's the Knicks ain't always pretty, but we all stay giddy. And we embrace the fan base like the late Anthony Mace. We trace the logo when there's space that appear like square space. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, look at that Knicks City drip. There's 50 dashes on the court, looking pretty legit. I stay true to the orange and blue. I thought you knew for him a few bars to shine like stars divine on Mount Mars. Knicks real talk, real talk. Here we go, let's go. Here we go, let's go. Knicks real talk, Knicks real talk. Here we go, let's go. Let's go. Knicks real talk, Knicks real talk. Here we go, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Knicks real talk. Here we go, let's go.
Knicks real talk. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Yo, salute everyone. What's good, what's good, what's good? Knicks real talk. We in the building. About to get it popping tonight. KJ Divine. I got my brother Shaw in the building. About to get into this Deuce McBride and Jericho Sims thing tonight, man. We ain't here on a nice Sunday night. I hope everybody had a good Sunday. Everybody chilling, watch some NBA, get all that stuff popping. But we're going to get into it tonight, man. We're feeling good. A little cold out here, man. You see, I got the hoodie on tonight because it's kind of cold where we are up and down the East Coast. But, man, thanks for everybody for coming in. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody where you coming in from, man. We're going to get it popping, man. Shot power was good, brother.
Salute KJ, salute Divine, salute to the chat. Let's get it.
KJ, what it do, brother? What's going on with you?
Hey, salute to everybody. First and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Word.
You know, mothers worldwide, salute to you all. And Divine, we have to break the record. We're going to keep breaking this record all day long. Y'all heard my man Divine up there spitting his ones and twos. You haven't heard a lot yet, but keep it going, Divine. Break that record again. Let's bring it back, man. I'm loving that intro.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, man, listen, man, we in here tonight. We got the Deuce McBride thing popping off. We're going to get into Deuce McBride and Jericho Sims, our young rookie for the Knicks that came into the game this year in 2021. Came into here, man, came and brought something to the Knicks team. We happy about the young man. We hope they be around for a while. We like what they bring to the table. The young guys got young energy. They got skill. They got talent, man. So I really want to get into these guys today, man. And I'm looking forward to them coming into 2022, 2023, hoping they be a part of this Knicks roster and get it popping for us, man, and help add on to what we're going to try to do. They were the bright spot. They were some bright spots for our team this year. We didn't have too many bright spots for the Knicks this year, but them two young men with some bright spots with the limited minutes that they got, they showed us what they could do when they get full, a plethora of minutes per se. So I'm really excited about them, man. I'm loving Deuce McBride, man. I always look at him as a young Greg Anthony with a jumper. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited about him. Jericho Sims, what can I say? A beast, young, athletic, built, strong, force down there. I think he's gonna come back and have a nice second year as well, Sean Powell and KJ. So I'm really looking forward to these young men, going through another year of off-season training, summer league, hopefully, and come back into their second season, man, and produce for the Knicks, Sean Powell. I think they're gonna be a pretty good tandem to watch, though.
Yeah, the big thing I'm watching out for this year is to watch out for Deuce to explode this year. His second year into the league, the second tendency to see the players that he played against this year, and I think he's going to be a semi-explosive this year. If he does anything like he did in the G League, he's going to be a dominant force on the Knicks for us for a couple of years to come. And Sims, what can you say about him, man? If we could sign Mitch, I could see Mitch and Sims being a one and two punch to knock all the defense, to hold down all the defensive structure. Mitch on the offense and Sims on the defense. So let's see what we can come up with about these guys tonight, and let's talk about them. Let's get it.
Yeah, KJ, I'm really excited about these young guys, man. Like I said, they didn't get Jericho Sims got pretty much a little bit more playing time than Deuce McBride did, and he showed some things. And Deuce McBride, when he did have an opportunity to play, especially like the game in Houston when when he had 15, 9, and 4, he was really getting it. Now we'll break all their highlights down, they stats in a few minutes. But I'm excited about these young men. I really am, man. I'm hoping these guys continue to their maturation, their growth and development. Just get better with time, and let's see what these cats can do. Because I think they can play a major part in the Knicks this year if they don't get traded by any means just to bring in somebody else. But if they still going to be here going into next year, I'm really looking forward for them in their second year.
Yes, and they both filled the void we needed in a very long time for a young core. Deuce McBride plays in defense, and Jericho Sims plays defense. He plays bigger than his size. So again, I love the young energy. I definitely love what Deuce McBride provides, a point guard that can defend and he can score. And I think that's something that we haven't had in a very long time. Same thing with Jericho Sims, another guy that can show in year one he has a game where he can defend. He can get that ball down low and score with his back to the basket. So I like what I see in year one for both of them.
Yeah, real talk, man. Hopefully Tip kind of figure out the game plan. Like, this year or the past season, excuse me, he didn't get him a lot of burn, and I understand why he did because he was looking at other things. But I think now that he's seen like these cats really good doing the work that they put in, hoping that Tip unleash him a little bit more this year. Don't rely on the vet so much to get the job done for us. Get these young guys to come in there with that energy, that youth, that athleticism, that hunger, and make our team a little bit more solid, especially from a defense standpoint, because they think they make the pace better. They defend real well, and they dogs, man. So I think they did a great job of drafting these young men. There was a good draft, the 35th pick, something like that, in the 58th, and they turned out to be real good people. And I really like what they bring to the table. And I'm just hoping that these guys continue along with Quentin Grimes and these guys to really let them know, like, you know what, just get us a couple with RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson come back. And we could kind of relinquish some of the vets, bring some guys who fit their timeline with the Cam Reddish and all them. I think this would be a good, fun team, man. I think they be up and down the slower pace. Like I said, they bring more speed, more athleticism to the game. And I think they make our defense better. So I'm excited about it. I'm just hoping that Tom Thibodeau just kind of realized, like, you know what, maybe if I would have did this early in the season, it might be a different story for us this year. So, like everybody, he got to learn as he goes as well. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes too. He admit that. He said he don't always get it right. And I really believe that these guys are really into something here. I just think that these guys would have got to play a lot more. If Cam Reddish went down, like I said, and Quentin Grimes would have had a knee injury, I really believe the Knicks would have been in the buy-in. You know what I mean? And play it, whatever case may be, and they would have made a difference. So let's hope that this year we got a nice 11th from the 12th draft pick all the way up. You never know where the balls may fall. We get another young stud coming out of college that can fit with Obi Toppin and all these guys. They still going to be here. Shaw Powell and just continue to go for development. But let these guys get out here and get it popping because I like what we got down there for sure.
Yeah, the one big thing that you said, Devon, that I really concur with is we have to shed some of these contracts so these guys can get some playing time. We have to let go some of these steadfast veterans that we have on the team to open up some space for these guys to flourish. And that's one of the big things that I hope that the front office is looking to do this year. So we can open up space for our 3s and our 4s and our 5s to really flourish and start off as a conglomerate to people that's been sticking together, make these guys stick like glue together. If you take some of these veterans out of this lineup, I believe Tom Thibodeau could lead these young guys into at least a play-in. If all holds fast, if they stay healthy, these guys should be a dominating force in the East next season.
Yeah, I agree, KJ, because what it looks like to me is like Deuce McBride, especially his defense, his hounding the ball. Like you said earlier, he picks it up full court. He goes there, and I really like what he brings to the table. And I think that the guy's got a nice jumper. But with more time, you get more rhythm, more consistency. And I think as he get more time and he gets a chance to play more, you'll see more of the game. So I really think that he's going to be a big difference around the Knicks. And let's see, man. I'm amped by these guys, man. So I can't wait for the season to get started fast enough for me, to be honest with you, because it's like the way we ended the season without some of them veterans playing. You see what they could do. That was impressive to me. Like when Julius Randle wasn't playing and a lot of these guys wasn't playing, I think you see what this team can do with these young guys, man. And if they could keep us going through the whole season, I think we got a good problem when I handle these young guys, because I just think that their energy overall is impressive, and I think they got dog in them. They not scared of nothing. They go at it. They go hard. They don't back down. I mean, they play team basketball. And we get into the first player review. McBride, I throw his highlights up there in a few minutes, and we'll see what the man could do on the court. And being that he didn't have a lot of time with the playing time with the NBA team, I had to throw some of the Westchester highlights in there. But whether it go, we just want to see what the man talent is, because I think he's really capable. And I always thought that he, like I was telling you guys in the stream before, if it was just McBride, Derrick Rose, Quentin Grimes, and quickly, I would be fine with that. If we don't bring in nobody, we had to roll with these four guys, Quentin Grimes and Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickly and Grimes at the 1 and the 2. I'm good with that, because I think they know the system. They can make it happen. I think they all good quality ball players, man. I think Quickly's improving. I think Grimes' shot is good. His defense is good. McBride defense is good. His shot is good. Quickly shot is good. His defense is good. And Derrick Rose is that savvy veteran. He gonna do what he do. So if nothing don't change, and they keep them guys there, I'm good with that for sure.
Right. So one of the main things that Knicks scouts did, they brought in ready to go guys. That's much needed than any other year in Knicks. To me, with all these rookies that we have, every person that the Knicks drafted this year, from Jericho Sims to Grimes to McBride, was ready-made NBA players, and that's why we seen the product, and that's why we see Deuce McBride. He'll go down to the G League and put up 30, 40 points with the ease, because you have a ready NBA player ready to go. So it was easy for him. So now you put him on the New York Knicks, the NBA team, where he doesn't have an NBA experience, but you can tell he has something for the team, and he got better through the year. Yeah, of course, we wanted to see more playing time from him, but, it was in spurts. Now, Jericho Sims was a different position. It was a position that was needed because we didn't have Noel. Then Taj Gibson was filling in for us. So he was, again, think about the rookies that we had prior to them. These guys were projects. These guys are a little bit projects we got now, but they're ready to go guys. So, of course, in year 2, I expect a lot. If the Knicks keep them, I expect a lot from Jericho Sims, Deuce McBride, and Grimes. My expectation is a little bit higher because I seen what they could do in year 1 with limited playing time. So, again, we get rid of some of these other contracts. We let some of these young guys play. Like, again, let me tell you, the Knicks will be off their projections will be higher because we got guys we build it from the floor up. It's not like we bringing guys in and fill them in. So keep these guys and let's see what we do, because we haven't had guys like this in a very long time. Not just 1 or 2 or 3. We got 4 or 5 of these guys ready to roll.
Yeah, real talk, man. You think about it, a lot of the guys were seniors. A lot of them did 4 years. Jericho Sims 4 years. I think Grimes did 4 years. McBride did 4 years. He did 4 years of college. So that they gained a lot of the basics. And that's why I like their game. They really got the basics down. And but I love what them cats bring to the table. So we're gonna see if Tom Thibodeau really implement them guys real hard this year. But I do think they're gonna go in there with a chip on their shoulder this year. I really believe they're gonna go into the summer league. They're gonna go into all-season training. They're gonna go into training camp. I think they're gonna come in there with a chip on their shoulder, knowing that they want to get playing time. So it only could bode well for the Knicks, knowing that these young guys are gonna come in more hungry than they were this year. And now they got a year under their belt. They kind of understand the nuances of the NBA, and they're gonna go out there and apply themselves a little bit more harder. And like sometimes I go on Twitter and I see a tweet by McBride said, year 1 went just the way he wanted it to go. So that's telling me that I know they know what I got. I know what I got. I know what I can do. And I think that's going to be impressive. So I say other than a major point guard shift from trade or something like that, don't be surprised that the Knicks roll with the guys they got, man. And just put it all together as a team. Because I do think they bring something to the table that's real unique for the Knicks. That's that defense, and they athletic, and they dogs. They can get it popping. So we're gonna get into these cats, man. We're gonna get down to these stats, break down their highlights, real, and all that stuff. But let's get the intro to these guys popping, so we know who we going to be bringing on the board tonight. And we're going to do it right here. We're going to bring in my man, Deuce McBride, and them. So let's get the intro popping for these guys, man. Let's show them they love to talk. two main dudes tonight. We're gonna get it popping, man. Courtesy of the streets of Bud for letting me use that track, man. That was all good, CT. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, man, these the two dudes we really talking about, man. These two young rookies going into their second year, about to get it popping. And I'm excited about them. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump into player one's highlights. Let's get into the Deuce McBride highlights and see some of his skill set, see his talented defense, his 3-point shot, his ball handle, everything, man. The kid got some game, man. Let's get it to him, break it down, then we can get back and talk about it, man. Here we go, Deuce McBride, college. That's what I'm talking about right there, yo. We got a young stud on our hand right there. So let's hopefully shout out Tom Thibodeau, recognize what them cats got, man. Let these boys get it popping this year. Because that young man, he got that pace you're talking about. He can take the ball, put it off the floor, the rebound, go all the way down the court. The cat can dig him up. He got a nice stroke to the three. He can take the ball, drive it in, got a little mid-range with him. I just think that, we didn't see enough of him this year, man. And I hope that the Knicks will really, really get that man an opportunity to shine, because I think he got the tools to be a good player in the NBA, especially whether backup or whatever the case may be. But he definitely got a chance to be in that rotation for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just from the highlights, I mean, you see what he has to offer. He plays defense. He knows how to drive to the hole. He has an awesome jump shot. I love the way he shoots the jump shot and he clicks his wrist, man. The guy's a real he has dog in him too, man. You see, and he got a good eye too. Right. He knows how to drive to the hole and look as he's driving, just in case you want to look left to someone at the three or to the right, as you've seen it in those previews that you showed. So he has a high upside, man. I think he could be a very good backup for let him run the second unit. Let him be the backup to IQ or whoever we put into that point guard slot and see what happens. I just hope, I'm hopeful for him, and I hope he gets a little bit of time to show it on the court this year.
Yeah, real talk, KJ. Because I'm like, remember when Kemba Walker got put to the bench? I thought that was the time that the Knicks should have gave him some burn. When they took my man out of the lineup, that's when they should have threw Deuce McBride in there, because he would have got enough burn. And by this time now, late in the season, he would have been ready. And I think that's the only mistake, I can say one of the major mistakes to me that the Tom Thibodeau and the organization did not do. Throw that young man in there when my man said we're going to take my man Kemba Walker, sit him down. Because I was like, listen, that man would have been ready with that defense. You know what I mean? And that game that he got, I think that would have made a big difference. So let's see how hopefully they correct their mistakes this year and give him more playing time. I think he can be a big major part of make a major impact on the Knicks team for sure.
Well, McBride comes from an athletic family. His mom was an athlete at Ohio State, and his father played at Xavier. So his upbringing had, imagine the pressures this guy's had, and you see it out there. And let's not forget, he played football. He broke his leg. He was a quarterback. He would have been a star, but he broke his leg his junior year. But so my thing is his upbringing, and you can see that mentally, the dog mentality, things that we've been saying. The New York City Gritty Committee, we need that in New York City, and we haven't had this in such a long time. In a young point guard, Look at what this man did in year one. So my sky's is the limit for him. My expectations for Deuce McBride is to hopefully one day be defensive player of the year. And I think he has that in him. It's just now, we want to see more of his offense. We know he can shoot. He was off a little bit, but I want to see what year two brings. But I think Deuce McBride could potentially, depending on what we do with our point guard situation, he could be our future point guard, our future starting point guard.
Yeah, a quality jumper. You know what, man? I think with the role situation, some of them guys have to move quality. Whether it's Alex Burks, or Walk. We know Walker's move. I know he's definitely going. I don't foresee Walker coming back. But I do think that I can see Deuce McBride getting some run with whether it's with Derrick Rose, and you just take Alex Burks and send him back to his other position. At least that's what I would hope that he do, because I think this man I think these guys gonna force Thibodeau to play them now. It's different going into their second year. I think they're gonna force the Knicks to play them because they're gonna realize that when they get in that training camp and they doing what they doing, he's not gonna have a choice. Because you can't take away from these guys. They doing better than the other guys. You know what I mean? Favoritism. Forget all the favoritism stuff. If Deuce McBride outshining a lot of them guys in training camp, they gonna have to play him. You know what I mean? Which is only the right thing to do. I mean, especially somebody like him who got that. He come from KJ spoke about the pedigree, but also look at the coach that he played under in college, Bob Huggins. He's a Tom Thibodeau type dog. He got that, you know what I mean? He's a hard coach. Bob Huggins is a monster, you know what I mean? So he knows Deuce McBride, he probably loved Tom Thibodeau because the coach that he played for in college was like them. Bob Huggins was the real deal, man. That man is an animal when it comes to coaching. You know what I mean? He's hard, and he really sets the type of standard that Tom Thibodeau do. So he was getting it down there in West Virginia, man. Deuce McBride, like you said, playing a quarterback in football is like being a point guard in college. That's that position that demands you to control the offense, to run the team. He knows how to run a team. You know what I mean? And I think Deuce McBride is good at it. So let's hope that his year two maturation. He'd come out there and he'd get more time. And he could light it up, man. I'm at the mindset right now that I don't care how many vets you got to let go, but you got to let some of them guys go to get some of the young guys some opportunities, man. Because I think you're gonna be wasting some good talent down there. And I think they'll do it sharp out. I foresee them getting some burn this year. I think the Knicks gonna go into the all season, try to free up some roster spots with some of these vets. But and bringing somebody well, but I do think he's gonna have a chance. He's gonna have a chance to go in the second year and try to compete for something.
Yeah, I believe so too, man. There's a lot of trade rumors out there and stuff like that. There's some point guards that we're looking out for and who we could try to grab up and who we gravitate into and stuff like that. One of the bigger ones that I've seen now is the Russell for Julius Randle. And I'm not super duper opposed to it. It will put a bona fide young veteran into the starting lineup. But the one thing that it will do also is take away minutes, possibly from Deuce. I think we try to move on from Rose this year. It all depends on how the Knicks make this front office really works this thing out, man. Because I'm wholeheartedly fine if I see IQ as the starter and Deuce coming off the bench as his backup. I'm totally okay with that. And that's kind of how I want to see the team move forward this year. But if they do think that they want to groom IQ for another year and they go and do this 1 year deal with Russell to get off the contract from Randle and groom Deuce for next year when Russell comes off the bench, then Deuce could be Deuce could be someone to look forward to running that second unit and running it efficiently.
Yeah, real talk. KJ, man, I think like he said, he got an opportunity to go ahead and make an impact. So we'll see what you do right quick. Before we get at you, let's throw up his salary right quick, KJ. Let's get into his salary, see what the man do, and come back on the other side and talk about that. Right now, Deuce McBride's contract for the New York Knicks in 2023 is $1.5 million. He on that Mitchell Robinson stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He on that $1.5 million for 2022-23 season. Then he got a club option for 1.8. Obviously, the Knicks got to pick that up if he's going to be amongst his team. So, I mean, he got, these guys got friendly deals, man. That's why I don't want to see why people want to trade these guys and get them. They friendly deals. I mean, to get somebody who could do what he do on a defense alone, just like Mitchell Robinson for $1.5 million, I keep that all day. All day long. Why would you get rid of $1.5 million to bring in like $19 million, and he could do what the $19 million guy could do? He would be doing a little bit less with experience. But I think he makes the team better by saving you 17, 18 million or 10 million. Like Alex Burks to me, 10 million. Alex Burks is good, but I still take that 1.5 that McBride and save that other 9 million and put it with something else. So that's why I'm hoping they move on for some of these guys, KJ, and let these young boys get it popping, man, because I think they make a difference for this team for sure.
Yeah, well, we starting to see the trend right now. Some of the guys that was hot in the NBA 5 years ago, they not hot no more. They're not getting those contracts. Smart contracts. It's a business at the end of the day. So it'd be smart to keep them. So again, it's like these guys are already NBA ready to go guys with small contracts in year one. What does Deuce McBride do differently from Kemba Walker? We all know the answer to that. Play defense.
Facts.
A little bit younger. What wins games? Defense. That wins games. So my thing is, with a little bit more playing time, let's go ahead and play. So, again, I know I keep saying the Russell Westbrook thing, guys, and we're not getting on that tonight. But what I am saying, the smart way to do this is, I know we got all these players, but the more and more I think about this and the way we talk about on these streams, Dix will talk about these guys wanting to play, the smart thing to do is keep these young guys, stretch these veteran contracts, and do the bare minimum with them, because you never know which way he's going to go for it. So that's what I would do with the New York Knicks right now. What's the rush for? We always say we're not rushing. We want to get to that championship level team. Are we a championship level team? We don't know. We can get hot, but I want to take my chances with the young squad, because if we trade these pieces away, again, it's like we never know what we're going to have. And then these Deuce McBride, Grimes go somewhere else. And then it's like, man, we could have kept it. We went for the shiny new toy when we got a shiny new young toy right now that we still molding. So I say we keep these young guys, and Deuce McBride could be a nice piece for us.
Yeah, real talk. Keith Turner got the trade. I would do the Derrick Rose 2020 first pitch for D'Lo.
I don't think it's enough money, Keith. D'Lo makes about 30 million.
Yeah. My only concern with that is I don't have a problem, but I don't think the Knicks will sign D'Lo back, and I just hate to give away that 2023 first round pick for 1 year. I don't know if the Knicks would sign D'Lo after his expiring. He's a good ball player, but I don't know if the Knicks will sign him back. That's my only concern, giving up that 2023 if they don't re-sign him. I wouldn't want to waste that pick for somebody for 1 year. So but other than that, if we think the Knicks was going to extend him or something, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? But I don't think his defense fits Tom Thibodeau mold though. That's my only concern with D'Lo, is that Tom Thibodeau, D'Angelo's could light it up with the best of them. I'm just concerned is with Tom Thibodeau can use him in the defensive scheme. That's about it. But other than that, D'Lo was nice though. So he's a proven guy. And that would be my only concern with that, is that right there. Other than that, if it was just something if it was somebody like Randle or something, different story, because we're getting rid of Randle contract and we had D'Lo for 1 year.
That's the main reason why I say it. The 1 year option for D'Lo. Who knows what this guy could come back to New York to do? Even though the last time he was in New York, he was in Brooklyn. But if he comes back and has any relevance of the way he used to be, I think he's having more problems with the team than his play. Him and his coaches are arguing. I never really heard him being so much being disgruntled in the locker room before in any other team. I think it must be something going on with this team. A new look, a new life. Put him here. We get off Randall's contract, and then we have the option to move off that $30 million after next year. That sounds like a win-win to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll go that route for sure, because it'll be you get rid of that money. And you only got him for 1 year if he happened to pop out. So, but that interesting chat though, Keith Turner. I mean, I'm just only my concern, Keith, would be that 2023 if he only stayed 1 year. That would be my main concern with that. Other than that, I wouldn't have a problem with D'Lo. I think D'Lo could ball with the best of them. But that's a good chat though, Keith. Real talk. But yeah, man, like for like the Deuce McBride thing, I think we got an opportunity to really. I think he's one of them diamond in the rough guys to me. And he's gonna be like Obi Toppin was in this first year. Remember how Obi Toppin came in the last year? He didn't really get that. He got the burn, but because he was playing behind Julius Randle, he didn't really get to show improve because his minutes were so short. That's what I'm looking at Deuce McBride. Like, he might have had like an Obi Toppin first year, whereas, the playing time, he got it, but he didn't get it. Having, especially when Kemba Walker, he came in the league with Kemba Walker there, D Rose there. Remember when the season started, D Rose and Kemba Walker was playing. So Deuce McBride was literally the third option. You know what I mean? He was situational anyway. So the only reason he probably got a little bit of burn was Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose kind of went to the wayside, but I don't think he got enough playing time. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that Tibbs, why I don't know, Tibbs didn't trust him at the beginning of the season, but I think he should have. We should have unleashed him at a certain time of the year. So, I don't think it was all because of the skill set. I just think that they didn't unleash him when my man got sent to the bench and got taken out of the rotation. That was the reason. I think the reason why his maturation didn't take place faster because of that situation. Other than that, I mean, Bride is the guy. I'm happy with him, man. I don't have no problem with Deuce McBride whatsoever. I love his game. I like all these rookie games. And I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm just talking about their skill set. I like what they bring to the table. I really do. I like Deuce McBride, man. He remind me of a young Greg Anthony. When Greg Anthony was down there with them 90s Knicks with Patrick Ewing and them cats, that's who McBride reminds me of. Every time I think about it, I'm like, man, he reminds me of Greg Anthony. Hound them cats on the defense and got that corner three-point shot. And he had it in him, man. So it was interesting, man. But let's see if we really haven't had, he to me, he's like Frank with way more dog in him. You know what I mean? Him and Frank, like Frank had that good defense. He just had the dog in him. But he had that skill set on the defense side to lock cats down. And, he's kind of helping out now. You look at today, he made a big difference on Devin Booker today. Them little 12-minute Frank Ntilikina was in there. He did. Yeah, man. And I think that's what McBride could be with McBride. But I think McBride just got more of an it to him. He got a more inside game, too. Ntilikina couldn't get downhill, but McBride could get downhill. So I think that would be pretty interesting, man, to see how this cat go in his second year. He's going to light up Summer League. He's going back to Summer League. Grimes going back to Summer League. Sims going back to Summer League. You're probably going to have Ferry and Hunt in Summer League. You're probably going to have our 2022 draft pick in Summer League. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting, man. I think these cats, they can go in there and light it up again. And I don't think Quickly or Obi will be there this year. But I think them guys will be there. You know what I mean? And let's see how they go, Shy Powell. And then they go into training camp and get it popping. I think it's going to be a really good look for the Knicks this year.
Yeah, that, like I said, and I'll say it again, man, this front office this year has a lot of things that they have to really try to work out because if we don't get either like you said, the Westbrooks or the Russells or something like that, then we have to figure out how we got to set the team up. If we're going IQ and Deuce as the backup, I think we keep D Rose, and then we try to shred off some other players like the Kimbers, the Noels, maybe the Burks. If we could move on from Fournier or Randle, if that's possible. But it all makes a difference of who we move and what moves were made to see who's going to be, how the team will stack up. I just hope that this year that we get to see some time with him on the court, 8, 10, 12 minutes, something like that, get out there, do what he does, run amok a little bit. I think the more he plays, I think the better he get, and the better he gets, the more time he will get as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. KJ, he dead on in that, man. So let's see, man. What's your expectation for him coming to this year? Do you think he takes another step forward? Would you like to see him get at least around 15 to 18 minutes a game? Or do you think the Knicks will be able to implement him into the rotation and see if he can produce for us this year?
It all depends what direction the Knicks want to go. I would love for Deuce McBride to get at least 20 minutes per game.
Yeah, man.
Because of his defense. And I feel like, like you said, Divine, when the whole Kemba Walker fiasco happened, we should have instituted Deuce McBride into here to see what he can do. And we've seen a little bit of that the past 20 games with him. He got better, and then we sent him down to league, and he got better with it. So my thing is with the New York Knicks, and I think it's going around the NBA. I think the Big Three theory is really getting played out right now because we see these teams with all the big names, they're not going anywhere. And these teams don't want to spend all that money anymore. So I think the new trend is like a Deuce McBride contract. It's a manageable contract. Let's get more bang for our buck with those contracts, even though we want to win. And we never know. We may build, and we are building, this new team in the next 5 to 10 years with the New York Knicks. With less contracts, we don't got to dish all that money out. And I think that's the way the Knicks have to go. And if we go that way, Devon and Shy, a guy like Deuce McBride and the Grimes and the Sims can get the minutes that we think is needed. And then we go from there. That's the thing. That's the direction I want to go in for the New York Knicks. I think it's a smart way and the only way if we want to build this team the way we did, we could build it.
Yeah, you hit on a great point, KJ, and I'm glad you touched on that. If you look at the LeBrons, the Westbrook, AD, they're not there. You look at Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, or now Ben Simmons, they're not there. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? But you look at the Luka Doncic and an island of average players, they there. You look at you look at Jimmy Butler and them, they not superstars, but they got that balanced team, they there. You know what I mean? So you hit on a great point about that super team thing. Here's another thing that because the NBA is a business, y'all also got to know that we going into a collective bargaining agreement pretty soon. We don't know how these teams what's gonna happen with the CBA. You know, it might change up. So that's why I like where the Knicks is at far as an organization. Other than Julius Randle contract and Evan Fournier's, we pretty much got a really, really good thing going on with our salary cap. So we do go into in 2022, 23 or whatever, 24, and the CBA get together and some, even though they're going to raise the salary cap, it still might be other things that might play a hand. Inflation, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of things, inflation, prices, I don't know, whatever. So, you know, because that's a business as well. So you don't know what the Knicks might do ticket-wise, what they might do to cut costs. It all depends how the CBA go and how the economy go and everything like that. And, but other than that, I like the structure that we got. That's why I think the Deuce McBride in a $1.5 million contract, Quentin Grimes $2 million contract. You know what I mean? Cam Reddish $5 million. I mean, these guys, you got it, and they got talent. You know what I mean? And Jericho Sims, when I get into him next, you're gonna be bugged out off his contract. It's crazy.
His contract is.
You got some young talent down there who's in the NBA already and starting to get better, and they on good deals. So it allows you to say, okay, if I move on to some of the other guys, I can have a salary cap structure that's to me that still works. Because I was saying, I think not too long ago, I was like, if you put these 5 guys in the starting lineup, guys, in the chat, y'all hear me out with this here. Let's hypothetically say you give Mitchell Robinson $15 million this year, right? RJ get $10 million. That's $25 million. Obi Toppin on a $5 or $6 million deal, right? That's what, 26 million? Oh, no, 30. I'm sorry, 31 million. Now them 3 guys in the starting lineup only making 31 million. Then let's say you add Cam Reddish $5 million. That's $35 million. And whoever your point guard is, even if you get a $10 million point guard, you got a starting lineup in New York on a $45 million starting lineup for this year. $45 million. And then you got Deuce McBride, $1.5 million. Grimes only 2 something million.
Sims, $1 million.
Yeah, right. You got a salary cap structure that's phenomenal. You can still plug in about 80 or 60 million, whatever you want to do. That's why I think the Knicks got to make sure they keep this young core intact. And then when it's time to extend RJ and Cam Reddish, you got the money. I just put out 5 guys: Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Cam Reddish, whoever your point guard is, and that starting lineup this year is only $45 million in cap tops. Tops. That is crazy, bro. For that much talent to be that, to have that much talent in your team, and it's not even taking up a quarter of your cap. You know what I mean? And that's why I think we got to kind of look into that thing with Deuce and them guys and Sims and them, and let's see if the Knicks can get it popping with that, man. 'Cause if they really gonna be business savvy, which I think Scott Perry is, he's a real business savvy guy. That's why we got this infrastructure the way it is now because of him. But we could do that, man, and hold on to these young guys and then plug in and play a couple of these talented dudes. The Knicks still would make the playoffs to me, Shot Powers. And I think that they could bring in some veterans to add to that depth of that young team that'll help get them into that playoff bound, man. Like I said, and I think they could do that for sure.
The one thing that I'm hoping for is that I feel it's like a 2 to 3 year window right now with these guys. If we can extend some of these guys, if we can have we got 3 guys right now that we're gonna have for this I say a little bit of money, but in NBA terms that 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, we have them for a couple of more years to manipulate the salary cap. If we can keep a hold of them for 2 or 3 years, build these guys stock up, and then when it's time in 2025 or so, if we really are going to look for a big fish, these guys' value is not what their paychecks are. These guys that are making $2 million, if they elevate their game now, IQ that's making $3 million next year, if he comes out and has a 16 points with 6 assists and 5 rebounds with 2 steals, that $2 million is now worth $14 million if you really want to push him on to try to make a trade for him, and so on and so forth with the Grimes, with the Deuces and stuff like that. So if we could get this young core together and try to strive for something, because if we really want Donovan Mitchell, the best time to get him is 2025, 2025. If we really looking to go after Donovan Mitchell, it's in 25 when when he's coming off his contract, when we can sign him to something that we can afford, not to what we have to give him now. 44, 54, it's all these big numbers and stuff like that. By then, we probably could digress. I mean, there's so many things that this front office has to do right now. We just got to sit back and watch and hope they make the right decisions by shedding some of these veteran contracts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. And I just want to say something because Shaw Power spoke about this for the last couple of weeks, but I seen it out there. Not that he's coming to the Knicks, but you know what? That Gordon Hayward thing is coming reality for somebody.
I'm just saying.
Coming to reality. I don't know if it's going to be the Knicks, but that Gordon Hayward thing is out there now. You know what I mean? Like I think the Charlotte Hornets are going to try to move on for him. So he's going to be looking. They might send him out to Indiana, where he's from, and all that stuff like that. Who knows? But,
just to jump in real quick, the quick trade we could make with them to get Hayward. Hayward has 2 years on his contract. The quick trade that we could do is Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, and Noel. We could send all 3 of those guys over to the Hornets and receive him back for if he could come over here and play. It'd be great, and somehow if we get him though, then we have to really try to do something with Evan Fournier. But the reason why I say Hayward, he's not a bad player. He had a bad couple of years. He's a little older, but defensive wise, rebounding wise, assist wise, is Evan Fournier better than Hayward? I don't know. I think if I had a choice to pick last year, Hayward or Fournier, I think I would have went the Hayward route myself. Right. Even with the injury thing, if we could get him 68 games plus the playoffs, plus the play-in, we're going to have a playoff berth.
Yeah. He Fournier probably is a little better than him, but that's about it. Everything else he's better than Fournier for sure. And I just want to leave a cash out. Did my man Chacon from Baylor? Boy, you get him here to back up Obi Toppin. That'd be. Let's say move on from Randle. You can get Chacon in here, man. That young man, 18 years old. The man can guard with the best of them. He was doing this thing in a tournament, man. That'd be a good pick for the Knicks if they can get him at that spot right there. If you don't go before us, I like Chacon a lot, and I was big on him, man. But that's what I mean. You could draft a dude like him. Got that defense, can play and get down there and get busy, man. And we need athleticism and size at the wing spot, so that's a good look right there. Salute cash out because I like my man. I love to see Knicks be able to get that young man down there in the draft for sure. But yeah, it's we got to do this thing wisely, KJ, and just kind of roll with the punches, man. Give these young guys enough chance to get it popping. and just fill in the gaps that you need for at least a year. You know, with all them other contracts expiring, and then we can go into that next season knowing that okay, we know how to deal with RJ, we know how to deal with Cam Reddish if he's going to be here, and then the only two major ones that we got to deal with because everybody else still on their rookie deals. You know, and quickly and Obi have another year after that, so that's not a big issue. So I do think we got to use this infrastructure wisely, KJ, and lock these young boys and let them get some playing time, let them develop. So maybe a year or two from now, they'll be ready to compete. When we bring somebody in here, that team will be built and they'll be ready to compete. Pretty much like the Grizzlies and the Boston Celtics of the world, all them guys who already kept their players for 3 or 4 years. Now they established, they got continuity. Now they bringing them home run hitters to help get them over the hump. I'd love to see Knicks go that route if they can. The Randle thing, listen, we only speculating. Randle might be back here. If Randle's back here, that's fine by me. I don't, I like Randle as a ball player. He's not a bad ball player by any means. I prefer him to go out there to move on just because of for him and the sake of the fan base. I don't know how it's going to play out for the next 4 years. The Randle thing, and if you go through any unnecessary trial and tribulations, the fan base going to react a certain way. If it wasn't for that, Randle don't bother me. But I'm just worried about KJ that if he go through what he goes through, it's gonna boil over to the team, and it's best to get what you can get from him and let him move on and continue his career and do what he's doing because he's a good player. And then we'll take it from there. But if he's not, I'm good with that either way. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I believe the Knicks have a game plan, and it starts May 17th, depending on the lottery. And I'm going to keep saying this and speaking to the atmosphere. Based on this lottery that we have coming up, is going to determine what the New York Knicks is going to do as far as trades.
Facts.
Keep some players, because again, if we get a top 5 pick, Knicks may want to keep that pick, or they may want to package the pick. So yeah, it's all good to say we want this player, but to me, it's about this year's lottery pick that we're going to get, because if we, again, depending on this pick, guys and ladies that's in the chat, it all depends on what we're going to do. We know what we want to do. I know what I want to do. Devon knows what he wants to do. Shaq knows what he wants to do. But to me, guys, and everybody in the chat, it's about the lottery pick that happens this year, what the Knicks are going to determine to do.
Mm-hmm. Hey, cash out on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning the highest probability that he won't be here. Give me a scale on 1 to 10 with Julius Randle cash out. What do you think? What do you think of the chances of being here? 10 meaning that the highest chance he won't be here. Hit me up and let me know what you think about that, man. Because I do think the Knicks can move on from him, and not, like I said, not because of the talent, just because they can let the man don't have to deal with all this turbulence that'll be flying around him for the next 4 years of that contract.
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's all it is. That's all it is. Other than that, I just think that we move on from him and let him go out there and flourish so well. I love for him to go to Dallas, go back home where he had closest his home. He done been from LA to New Orleans to New York. Let him go down to Dallas and run that contract out down there with Luka Doncic. I think he'd be nice with Luka. Him and Luka would be a nice tandem down there. Because now Luka got a guy who literally can give him 20-something a game on any night and 10 rebounds and 5 assists. You know, that pretty much would be real good. 5, okay. Julius said 5. Salute, Soul Finger. Salute, my brother. Peace. Yep. I'm gonna go on a scale like that. I'm gonna give it a 7, man. I'm gonna give it a 7 just due to the fact. Like I said, it's not the skill set. It's not because we don't want him. I just don't know how they're gonna handle this thing with him moving forward for the next 4 years if the fan base start wilding. Cash out got 8 to 10. That's all. Oh my goodness.
I'm going right around 7 also. Julius Randle is a great player, man, and he is a 20, 10, and 5 type of guy that you could put on any team, and those will be his numbers coming up. But the thing with me, and aside from us Knicks fans, I don't think he's going to be able to be salvageable if we get on him again like he did last. Could you just imagine the way we were on him this year? If we get on him earlier next year, he's going to be crumbled. I think that it's not his play. I think it's his fit. I think his fit for the New York team, the way he stops the ball, the way he isolates a lot, the way he turns the ball over a little bit. I think those are more what his flaws are for the New York Knicks. If he goes somewhere else, I think he could probably prosper a little bit better. And us Knicks fans, I don't know, man. I don't know how he's gonna last if he gets reamed out again and start doing all the thumbs down and all that stuff. He's gonna want to be moved by the trade deadline.
Yeah, real. Anybody got the noise on that Philly game, Philly Miami? I'm not be able to watch it. Y'all let me know if y'all know what's anything going on that. Yeah, but you know what? For me, here's the thing with me. If we keep Julius Randle, and let's say we bring in one more person, is that going to get us over the top? And if it's not going to get us over the top, then to me, if you can get the contract moved and free up that 100 million, 117 million, then I think that works out better for me as well. Real talk. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. Yeah, Philly up good. Yeah, Philly, go get it. My wife is a Philadelphia. She's from Philly, so I go out and get it. I like Embiid and them for them up, but they be getting popping. But yeah, man, it's tough. So if we got 4 right now with the trading of Randle. Yeah, yep. I can see that. And, and it's like I said, he a good player, man. And that's the bad thing about it. He a good player, but I think it's because of what he went through with the fan base. I don't know if he go in a slump, he gonna get killed in New York again.
You're gonna get murdered, man.
Any little thing that he's under a big spotlight right now in New York. And though this segment is not about him, we just want to talk about it because we were dealing with that order to free up. We brought up Julius Randle so we could talk about how to free up space for these young guys to get some burn. But he's under a big megascope, man. I mean, people gonna be, anything he do wrong. If Julius Randle turn the ball over, it's gonna be bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my only problem. That's the only trepidation I got with this whole thing. That and I think that like Sean Powell hit the nail on the head. He brought us some very good points. The slowing down the offense, the turnovers, and all that. So that's something that kind of is interesting about that as well. Sean Powell hit the nail right on the head. So we'll see, man. But if he stays, hopefully he changes the game up a little bit. And you got to bring a point guard that he's going to respect down there. And we're going to need a point guard that takes to run the offense through. I don't want to see the Knicks come down there with 18 seconds on the clock and you post on Julius Randle. Now you can swing the ball around. And if you get to like 10 seconds and 10 or 7 seconds, you need a bucket, then you can go to Julius Randle. But I don't like the way they come down the court. As soon as they get over half court line, they post to Julius Randle. I think you got to run that ball around that perimeter and move the ball and then let him be your option if he need to be. So that's the only thing with me, KJ, is that I just don't like the way the offense is running in New York right now because the young man is talented, man. And it's not about you, Julius Randle's talent by no means. So I want to put that out there. I'm a Julius Randle guy. But I think ever since what happened this year, KJ, in New York, I just thought that it left a bad taste in the fan base mouth. It's better for him and his family to go to a place where he's going to not have to deal with all this noise and all this stuff and just go play basketball. It'll benefit him and it'll benefit the Knicks. So it's a win-win. And I just think that's the reason why I brought that up. If you can move Julius Randle and a couple of other guys, then the guy that we were talking about in the cast tonight, the McBrides and Jericho Sims, are going to be able to get more minutes as well.
Absolutely. And Sha hit everything on the nail. He was right. Julius Randle's game with the way the Knicks, we seen them play without him, towards the beginning, towards the end, that's the way the Knicks want to play. And I feel like his game doesn't fit. I feel like he's one of those guys that he's in the league for such a long time. He's stagnant in his ways. Again, the only team in the NBA that's like a young team, but a little old, is the Golden State Warriors. They were ahead of their time. The way these young guys, the new NBA guys, crops of guys, the Golden State Warriors has been playing like that. And they still playing like this to this day. So, again, I'm saying that to say the New York Knicks, they want to run a whole different way. And to me, with the way Julius Randle plays on this specific New York Knicks team, it's not what we need. We're seeing it's not going to work. And again, to Sha's point, if he has one of those seasons again, we doing fans doing this, we're going to run him out of here. So again, the smart way to do is, you know what? Let's get him out of here if it doesn't work. But if he can change his game up, then he stays. We know he can. Again, Devon, you're right. We know he can average 20 and 10. But at this specific time, 20-10 has not helped this New York Knicks team since he's been here. Get to the other level. So again, we need one of these teams. The NBA is changing. The way guys are playing in the league right now, it's much faster, much more pace, more defensive. You know, the NBA is known for we can't defend anybody. So, you know, we need young guys like that can do everything. And we're not giving you the bag right away anymore. That's not happening in New York City.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to me? You look at when Randle went down at the end of the season, and granted, the competition was different, but the way the team played, that's even though it was against a different competition, but the style of play was different. The Knicks was up and down with pace. The ball was moving around. Them cats they was up and down, you running and gunning. And I like the way they was playing. It was a free-flowing offense, it seemed to me. And it wasn't to come up over half-court lines, sit down and post. That's good in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But I think at the end of the season, I just like the way that team was playing overall. So, it's not so much about Julius Randle. We just got to, we brought him up because we talk about how to free up spots for players that we were going to get into. So let's get into this next young man that we're talking about on tonight's show, and that's Jericho Sims. Sean Powell, I'm excited about the young man. Two-way deal for New York, 58 pick in the draft, two-way contract for the New York Knicks. Raw, but you can see his potential. Strong rebounder, hops out the gym, strong, and he hustles. You know what I mean? But I like what that young man brings to the table for the Knicks as well. I thought him and Mitchell Robinson would be out pretty much two centers moving forward in New York for the next 3 or 4 years. That was my my understanding. Like, you know what, man, if you sign Mitch back, you got Jericho Sims backing up Mitchell Robinson at the 5. I was looking forward to that. I mean, so we don't know what's going to happen with Mitchell Robinson right now. They got the June 20th to figure that out. But I do think that Jericho Sims is a young man that you can't go wrong with. He's raw, but he got it. I see some of the games he's playing, man. That boy got bully ball in him, Shop Howard. Now I'm really hoping that the Knicks keep this man aboard and just let him keep getting better. And I think he's gonna be a good project for the Knicks moving forward.
Yeah, I really got high hopes for this guy Sims. I believe if we could sign Mitchell Robinson, he could be a second unit stopper. He has good fundamentals. He still needs to work on his footing a little bit. The up fakes, learning how to stay on the floor, and he's a rookie. So majority of since I've been watching basketball, majority of newcomers in the league, centers that come to the league, their first year or so, they stay in foul trouble. And I think that the work this off season that he could work on could really bolster his playing skills together. I think he can turn around and do a jump hook. I think he has moves down low, but we just couldn't see it. And I think he was more nervous this year of being yanked off of the court by Tibbs than anything else. I think he's going to come back this year. I think he's going to have a little bit more fundamentals under his belt, and I think that he has a high upside. So I'm very optimistic on Jericho Sims.
Yeah. You know what? For me, KJ, that's the thing that sometimes we all gotta. I know a lot of us Knicks fans. We one of the most impatient fan bases there is. We also got to take into consideration. You do got to give these guys a chance to develop. What I try to do as an evaluator when I'm looking at talent, see what they can do. And once I know, I know the guy can rebound. So once I know he can rebound, is he going to get better at rebounding? You know what I mean? I already know he can rebound. So now it is about what are you going to do to improve your rebounding? I know the guy can block shots. So now I'm looking at what are you going to do to improve your block shot? But I know he can do it. So once you know a guy can do it, it's all about now putting the work in to get better at it. And I think the young core that the Knicks got, including him, they got a certain skill set that they can do. Now they just got to work on it to get better. I mean, let's not forget he's a raw 58 draft pick. I mean, he's just a raw talent. You know what I mean? But you can see his upside as long as he stay in the gym and put in the work. And I do believe guys like him and the guys we talk about today, like Miles McBride and Quentin Grimes, these guys are going to put in the work because they're gym rats and they want to get better. These guys made it to the NBA. Now, the best thing they can do now is stay here. You know what I mean? So I do think that you got to give these guys credit. But at the same time, you look like even Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish been in the league 4 years. And I still don't think you see the best of him yet. And he's not good. It had nothing to do with he's not good. He just haven't hit that spot yet. And I think he will hit it sooner or later. But that's the reason I feel about Jericho Sims. Raw, coming to the NBA like a deer in the headlights. But once you see him on the court and he got consistent minutes, you've seen his energy level, you've seen his production go up, and all these guys. And I'm hoping the same thing translate this year, where once he get the minutes, he get coming in the offseason to get better, working on his craft, learning. Now that he done been through the NBA 1 year, he know the ins and out of it a little bit. He still haven't mastered it yet, but he do know the basics now. He done got the basics out the way in his rookie year. Now he going to the next year, KJ, and he just add a little bit more to his game. And I think he'd be a little bit more better than he was this year.
Right, and that's kudos to the Knicks coaching staff. I believe they prepared him to get ready. Again, ready-made guys come into the league. Guy plays bigger than his size, 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. But he played bigger than that for us, a guy that's ready to come on in for us. So my thing with Jericho Sims, I think, again, if we lose Mitch, you could plug him right in there because he showed what he can do in year one. Obviously, he got to work on a couple things. He's still very raw. But to me, coming into the NBA compared to Mitchell Robinson, he's better than what Mitchell Robinson was in year one.
Yeah, fundamentally, yeah, he was.
So my thing is with Jericho Sims, what does Jericho Sims need to work on? So, again, a mid-range jump shot. He can shoot free throws better than Mitchell Robinson. He can defend well in year one. So my man might come back with a Kurt Thomas 15-foot jump shot. And then what do we have? Or Patrick Ewing back into the rim. Work on different games. So my thing with him, sky's the limit for him, Devon and Sha. And we have something in him. Again, a guy that's not really getting paid that well, but showing what he can do. We need these guys here. We don't need to get rid of them guys.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, real quick, Julian, I think, man, you said the same thing. You probably misinterpret what I said, but I'm saying the same thing actually you were saying about Randle. When he wasn't in, the team ran slower, he was flowing better, speed was there. So I think you probably misinterpret what I said, but I'm saying the same thing you were saying actually. I love this young man, I really like what he got. He got that. He just got to get that. What Derrick Rose call an introvert. He just got to get a little bit out of him, get a little bit more, aggressive. But man, when I'm gonna show you this highlight video of him, and when he had grabbed the rebound and watch what he did to Andre Drummond. So y'all watch this video carefully, his highlights, because he really can battle down on the board against a big dude, man. So let's jump into his highlights right quickly. We get back to it on the other side. I'm talking about my man Jericho Sims. But here goes some of his highlights from the season. Look at some of the things that he do well. You can see some of the things that he needs to improve on. But overall, I think he got some good things. He got a good bright future ahead of him. So let's see how it goes. Man, here with Jericho Sims, highlights from 2020-22 season. Young man got hopped like a bunny. He got energy. He's a good young man out here, man. I think he's gonna be all right for sure. We just got to get the equity to it, but he got a lot of energy, man. I'm excited about him. And like I said, he's raw, but that's what time does. Time gives you more chance to get comfortable. The horn just feels a little more to understand. You know what? To me, also, KJ Shop coming out of college, the speed of the college is not like the NBA. You know, he had to get adjusted. He had to get adjusted to the physicality, the speed of the NBA, the wider of the player that's in the NBA, they're more deeper, more talented. When you raw like that, you're gonna make mistakes because you go up against guys who you couldn't that wasn't in college like this that's in the NBA. So, but for what he did his rookie year on a two-way deal, I was happy with him, man. And I think he's the best yet to come from him, man. He just got to keep working out and keep getting better and honing his skills and mastering his craft. I think he's gonna be all right for the Knicks.
Yeah, you seen that little rib job he did with the drumming. He did that little rib job. So I think he's gonna be a beast, man. I think he has nothing but athleticism inside of him. He stayed in college 4 years, so he has a good foundation of how to being a center. I think he could come behind Mitch and really electrify that second unit. That second unit would be real good. You're looking at hypothetically Deuce McBride, Grimes, it all depends who's going to be at the three. It makes a difference who's going to be at the four with Sims there because if we move on some of these guys that be in the second unit, probably be in the first unit.
Yeah, you got to check your microphone because it's acting up pretty bad.
It is, right? I'll come back in.
Okay. Yeah, real talk. Excuse me, technical difficulties that happen. Apologize for that. But yeah, man, you know what? I like what the young man bring to the table. I'm excited about him. Is mine as well. Can you still hear me echoing? Y'all let me know if mine is echoing because I don't hear it on my side, but I hear theirs. So y'all let me know if mine is echoing. Yeah, I like what the guys bring to the table, man. I really do. I think the young man gonna be good. I think he's gonna learn his game. He's gonna get better. Having Todd Gibson around helps him out a great deal because he gets somebody who can kind of mentor him, teaching the game, showing the tricks of the trade. And I think that's why Todd Gibson was a big asset to the Knicks because he's been around. He got the footwork to play in the NBA. Todd Gibson know how to play the game up in the front court. So it was a good look for him having Todd Gibson around. And I think it worked out well for Mitchell Robinson as well. That's why I'm excited about having these guys around, man, because I think these guys like Todd Gibson rubs off on these guys, man, real talk. That's a good look. But KJ, Jericho Sims, man, the man is athletic. Like, you know what, him and Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, these cats got hops up there, man. I like what he brings to the table for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? If Jericho Sims could replace what's my man Evan Ingram at tight end, my man hands, boy, got super grip on them hands, man. I mean, the way he jumps them highlights, the way he jumps up on them rebounds and grabs the ball, the hands gravity to the ball. And that's, like I said, it's year one. I'm not saying he's a better defender than Mitchell Robinson right now, but I'm just saying if you take Mitchell Robinson's year one defense with Jericho Sims' year one defense, to me, Jericho Sims was a better defender in year one, and a little bit more on the offensive side. And I'm not saying that he's better than him, but if we were to lose Mitchell Robinson, I would be okay with that because I like what Jericho Sims is doing right now.
Yeah. For some reason, shout out what it is, man. But it's just an echo. We had to deal with it. It's all good, brother. But I do think. Yeah, Shy, I see it come when you and them echoing.
Yeah, hey, Shy. I mean, hey, Devon. If we bring in, think about this, right? If we were to lose Mitchell Robinson, now we like the way Jericho Sims jumps up for the ball along with Obi Toppin, right? Now, again, we're on this thing where we're trying to save money. Mitchell Robinson is due for money right now. The guy's been making peanuts to his value right now. And that's why I keep saying that which way the Knicks want to go here. Mitchell Robinson is very young, but do they want to spend this money? Do they want to spend $15 million a year on him? Do we think in the next 4 years, Mitchell Robinson, what can he do? Like, we don't know which way they're going to go. And that's why I said this is probably one of the trickiest years in New York Knicks franchise because we got so many different ways that we can go. So many different storylines. And we don't know which way they're going to go. So, again, I'm going to keep saying it. If we lose Mitchell Robinson, I'm fine because we have Jericho Sims.
Yep. Shy, I'm trying to think where can it be, brother. I cannot tell you for the life of me. Oh, there you go. Now I don't hear myself. Oh, he went out. But he went out. But yeah, I'm on the Mitch wagon. I think Mitch. I hope we keep Mitch. I just want Mitch. I want to have both of them. You know, because one thing Mitch does that's I think he hasn't got it yet. He will get there soon. Mitch covers a lot of ground. I mean, this cat be all over the place, man, when it comes to defense. So, you know, I'm hoping that there you go, Shop. Good now. You hear me?
Yeah, I try to take the headphones off, but now I can't hear the volume so great. Keep going, I'll work it out.
Okay. Yeah, man, but I'm really excited about both of them. Jericho Sims, I like his game. I like what he could bring to the table. I just hope that the Knicks can lock him and Mitch up. Well, he's already here. He's two-way. I think the Knicks going to turn his contract into a regular contract eventually. So let's hope that both of them is in here. And I really don't have a problem with it.
Hey, Devon, I want to answer Cash out for a minute. You know, again, it's one of them things, the business-wise size. You know, of course, Mitchell Robinson changed the game for the New York Knicks. We've seen that this year. But the guy's up for $15, $20 million a year. You know, again, what direction do we want to go in? We know RJ Barrett got a potential to be the next superstar on his team. We got to pay these guys. In the next 4 years, am I going to want to pay Mitchell Robinson? I don't know. What I'm saying is, Devon, into the chat, I would rather pay a guy like RJ Barrett that money because he does multiple things for me on defense and offense. Now, Mitchell Robinson has shown more durability this year. But again, he still has that fact about him where he could get hurt. And most big men that's 7 foot, they get hurt quicker than a guard. So what I'm saying is I don't have that much confidence in paying a man that much money and it's going to hurt the future the way we want to go to. So I think the Knicks are going to try to add young and they can get more players. They might get 2 or 3 players like Mitchell Robinson, you know, or more value to it, which way the Knicks want to play. That's what I'm saying. Again, look what Obi Toppin did with IQ. Threw the ball over the top, got right in. Get that offense running. And for so long, we've been saying this year, we need a stretch 5, right, Devon and Shot? Stretch 5, stretch 5, stretch 5. I mean, a lot of people said that. But it shows that Mitchell Robinson has it. So which direction are we going in? Are we going that stretch 5 center? Or are we going with the traditional center that plays defense and back somebody to the rim? So again, I don't want to pay that much money for a guy that I don't know can do all those things. And what game is he changing, you know?
Hey, for me, man, Mitchell Robinson is a no-brainer. I got to be honest with you because I believe in loyalty. I believe in $15 million for Mitchell Robinson. If you paying Rudy Gobert $45 million, you paying Rudy Gobert $45 million. We can't. I know it's a business as well, and I agree with you on the business side. But Mitchell Robinson changes the game for New York. Jericho Sims, nice. He ain't Mitchell Robinson though. I think he can get there. I think you keep both of them because he's too raw right now. Mitchell Robinson is a game changer for New York. He's a listen, if Clint Capella getting 23 million, 18 million, and these guys, you got to reward Mitchell Robinson because you know what? He's been through the grind for New York for $1.5 million, $1.7 million. The man played 72 games last year, 4th in the league in block shots, changes the Knicks defense. He makes it harder for teams to come down here and battle against the Knicks, man. I love him. I think Mitchell Robinson, like somebody put in there, it really doesn't have nothing to do with RJ because you can sign RJ over the Cat, whatever. It don't even matter. I think you keep Mitchell Robinson. We're a small team up front. We don't have no size other than him. And if you lose Noel, it'll be him and Jericho Sims, the tallest guys on the Knicks team. Everybody else is like, that's the reason why I'm not big on Randle at the 4. He's only 6'9", 6'8". I like Mitchell Robinson because what he does, he's an interior presence. He changes the game dramatically for the Knicks. Because you know why? Don't nobody want to come in the middle when he's in there. If you ever watch the Knicks games, he's not in there. It's a different team. It's just a different team. That's just my take out. I believe I look at what the guy can do. He just makes it, and I think another thing we got to look at on the offense standpoint, give Mitchell Robinson a real point guard. So when you got the Alex Burks, who's a shoot first point guard, and Derrick Rose is kind of a shoot first point guard. Derrick Rose was a shoot first point guard. Get a playmaker in there. So when he know how to catch Mitchell Robinson when he see the defense guy out of position, that point guard says, I see that center coming over this way. Mitchell Robinson over there, bang. See, Mitchell Robinson could be an easy 17 or 15 dude in the NBA if you give him the right point guard up in there. Because we just don't have the system in place for a point guard to bring out the best in Mitchell Robinson's game. Because every center, and for a stretch, I'm not concerned with that because if you got shooters around him, I think you eliminate that. You look at right now the way Embiid playing the paint, DeAndre Ayton playing the paint. It's a lot of guys that, I think you can have guys who can shoot, but I don't think we need it. I think that we just got to get the guy that KJ for me to bring the best out of him. But he drafted this young man. One thing about the Knicks organization, I get tired of seeing them get rid of guys who we drafted. He's been here. Signed that you drafted that young man. Keep him. He came through your organization. He came up from a rookie year. He played here 4 years up and down. But the man, I want to see him reward guys not because they're on small contracts and get rid of them. I want to see them sign guys like that. You know what I mean? They signed from Julius Randle. He didn't even get drafted by the Knicks. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping that they trying to change that stigma and kind of keep some guys who they brought up through the system and reward them for being in a Knicks uniform. And I think that's one guy, Shaw Powers, that will make a big difference in New York because of what he can do, for sure.
Me speaking about Mitch is just me, a homer, talking about someone that he likes, man. And I like Mitchell Robinson game. I think right now, if we offer him $13.5 million with incentives, you make the block, you top 5 in block shots, we'll give you X amount of money. You make a defensive team next year, 1, 2, or 3, we'll give you another 1 point whatever money. Whatever it is, that 13.5 million can, if he invests into himself, he can get close to about $16 to $17 million. And I think that's what we should try to offer him and give him the incentives for him to, if you can play 65 games a year, since we worry about him being hurt and stuff like that. You play 68 games this year. He played 72 games. He played 72 games. He could have played probably more than 72 games, but he played 72 games this year. If we give him that, you play 65 games this year, and in the playoffs, we'll give you an extra XYZ amount of money. With Mitchell Robinson on the court, man, he is a defensive anchor. With Mitchell Robinson, when Mitchell Robinson checks out, goes to the bench, it seems like the guards drive to the hole like it's the I-95. I say it all the time. You take Mitchell Robinson out the middle, every point guard, everybody's trying to drive to the hole now. Now it'll be a little different now because the reason that was because Todd Gibson was the backup center. So if we could have Mitchell Robinson with Jericho Sims and have a strong front court of IQ and RJ, maybe having that 1 and 2 position with Reddish at the 3 and Obi at the 4, Mitch at the 5. I think that's a really exciting team to come out with next year. Now, if we go with this team and in the beginning of the year, it starts off slow. We have to get this team a little bit to marinate and stuff like that. But I think if we put this team out there together, these guys are already played together a couple of years together. Mitch is the oldest person on our roster right now. And I think that this is what we need to. I think we need to lock down a center that if he can stay healthy for the next couple of years, he's still 24. He still can be taught. He can still be taught how to shoot a jump hook, how to shoot a jump shot. He has some moves to the basket and stuff like that. I'm high on Mitchell Robinson, and I hope we can get him for $13.5 million and give him the incentives to make him to get to 17, 18 million or something like that if he invests into himself.
Yeah, right. Hey, Devon and Shaw. And I like Mitchell Robinson. All I'm saying is, if you're Mitchell Robinson's team, the man's been in the league since 2018. First year making $1.4 million to last year making $1.8 million. His career earnings is over $6 million, right? And he's undervalued right now. So if I'm his team, I'm fighting for at least $20 million for Mitchell Robinson because he's underpaid. And to me, he could be a top. He's in a top 10 center. We could say that. You know, he deserves his pay due. So my thing is, if we got a guy like Mitchell Robinson that's underpaid, and they come in and say, forget the 17 million worth due, you guys, I would say he's worth $20 million if I'm on his team right now.
Then you let him walk. You let him walk.
You let him walk, right?
Yeah, you let him walk. But I don't think that's the case, though. I think Mitchell Robinson's going to get what the average center, like somebody put there, Robert Williams and all these guys. He's going to get what he's going to get what he's earned. Mitchell Robinson worth $20 million? No. But
I don't think so either.
Is he worth 15? Absolutely, he's worth 15. Because you can go look at, like somebody said, Robert Williams. See, the thing with me with Mitchell Robinson is this here. People might not think he got to off his game because it ain't his fault they don't throw on the ball. I mean, I seen Mitch say all they got me do is run up and down the court. You can see the man, because you know when you look at some of these guys, you look at them on an all season. Even when they playing around in the gym, if you're around in the gym and you shooting, that means you can shoot. Now whether you do it in the NBA or not, but you know how to shoot. I'm not saying your percentage is going to be good in the NBA, but I see Mitchell Robinson in the gym just shooting around, throwing them threes, knocking them down, doing crazy shit in the gym. Yeah, but it might not be translating down the court because we don't have no point guards. Like look at Clint Capella. You know why Clint Capella thriving? Because look who he played with, Trae Young. Trae Young know where to find him at. Look when Quickly's in the game, or look when Frank Ntilikina was in the game. They knew where to find Mitch at. You know what I mean? They was looking for him. Alex Burks and them guys don't look for Mitch. And that's the problem. I think once you get a guy who sometimes you got to play to a guy's skill set. And I think, everybody talk about Miles Turner. Yeah, Miles Turner can shoot a three, but he's a terrible rebounder. Miles Turner only get about 6 rebounds a game. But he can shoot a three, but he can't rebound. And he making $18 million. He could block shots and shoot threes. But his rebound, it ain't that good. So what happens, one thing about you can't deny about Mitch, we're in a jump shot shooting league. Am I right, guys? We're in the league of jump shooting. What happens when your team is not shooting good that night? I see Mitchell Robinson get 8 offensive rebounds in one game.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, you need guys like Mitchell Robinson. So when RJ not knocking him down, when Julius Randle not knocking him down, when Fournier not knocking him down, you got somebody in there could clean that board up and put 2 points back in the shot. And the rim. I meant to say, them the things I think we undervalue because I think we get in the league, we get caught up if a guy can't shoot good, then he's not shooting is not the only part of a person's game. It's so many other, it's like shooting, it's rebounding, it's dribbling, it's passing, it's a lot of more things. So like even much as we get on Russell Westbrook, there's only one thing you can get on that man about his whole arsenal if he can't shoot. But then that man can do everything else. And that's how I look at Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson might ain't got that much offense, but then that man can do everything else. So I don't think you pay a man just because he can't shoot. If he wouldn't have got $200 million, Russell Westbrook could. If shooting was the only quality that keep you from getting money, Russell Westbrook would have never got max contract. But the man was a walking triple double. He played all aspects of the game, and I think that's what we got to start looking at because even though right now RJ Barrett might not be a good shooter, but then that boy could do a lot of other good things that benefits the team. So I think Mitchell Robinson is that thing, but so I think Jericho Sims will be an awesome backup to Mitchell Robinson. I'm for giving Mitchell Robinson his money, having Jericho Sims is not ready to start in the NBA. He's not ready yet. He will get there, but I don't think Jericho Sims at the same
start the first game.
Yeah, I don't think Jericho Sims at 24 years old coming out of college like Mitch is 24 now. Jericho Sims is 24. He just got to the league. So he came into the league already 24. So, think about once he mastered with Mitchell Robinson, he'd be like 28 years old. You know what I mean? He'd be in his prime on his first extension. So I think that, Mitchell Robinson is tough. I love Jericho Sims though. I think him and Mitch just need to be the centers in New York to me personally. I just think them let Mitchell Robinson start if you can keep him for the right money. But like you said, if his agent ain't no dummy, because you know what, his agent ain't no dummy because you know why? They're gonna look at his injury career, and but I guarantee you, somebody like Pat Riley will give him the money if he thinks it's gonna help him get a championship. See, because sometimes we might not give it to him as Knicks fans, but that don't mean nobody in the NBA won't give it to him. You know what I mean? They might say, I got money to burn. Listen, you got John Wall making $47 million and ain't doing nothing. Russell Westbrook making $47 million, ain't having a season. I mean, the NBA will pay money if the guy's an asset to their team. So I think Mitchell Robinson got to be here to stay, along with him and Jericho Sims. I like Jericho Sims. I think they got a good front line there. Young, youth, athleticism. They both could rebound. They both could block shots. They both got motors. You know what I mean? That's just a good young tandem to have in New York. So I'm perfectly fine with that, man. But I think the Knicks need to give Mitchell Robinson money, man. The man been a soldier for New York, man, for 4 years. 36 pick in the second round. He's the result of the Carmelo Anthony deal. You know what I mean? He's the result of the Carmelo Anthony deal to OKC. That's that Scott Perry second round.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I want them to reward that young man because I think he's earned it. I just think he's that good. I think his rebounding is top notch in the paint. I think his defense is top. His defense alone worth the money. Just alone. I mean, like I said, and I'm gonna say it till the horses come home. You gave Rudy Gobert $45 million. You went to tell me Mitchell Robinson can't get 15? That's $30 million more than Mitchell Robinson. He's great. He's a dominant defense player, but Mitchell got just as many skills as he do. You know what I mean? So.
And to put on top of that, Divine, if we do move on from Mitchell Robinson, this is why I really want to keep Mitchell Robinson, and I keep saying this 13.5 with the incentives. But if we go out to look for Turner, that's $20 million. If we look for Aiden, that's 20-something million dollars. All these guys that we're looking to, excuse me, to bring in here alongside even Bamba. Bamba's going to be around $12 to $14 million, you know. So if we're looking to for all these guys that could go out and shoot on the perimeter and stuff like that as big men, these guys ain't coming cheap, you know. If we could get Mitchell Robinson for $13.5 million and work on his game, I believe that we got enough shooters around Mitchell Robinson that Mitchell Robinson really doesn't have to develop a jump shot, or he could grab rebounds or get the passes as the guard drives to the hole and dump it off to him and he dunks the ball. I believe Mitchell Robinson could easily be a 13 and 11 averaging center in the league. And everyone says about his injury history, Mitch played, if I may have the numbers off a little bit, his first year was 61 games. His second year was 65 games. The third year, I think that's the year that he got hurt last year when he broke his foot and his hand and all that stuff. I think that was 17, 19, 20-something games. It wasn't many games. But this last season that he played healthy and came back, he was out of shape in the beginning of the year. He played 72 games last year. You know what I mean? The second year that I mentioned was the bubble year. You know what I mean? 61. He played 61 games out of 72 games in the season. This guy, I mean, people talk about him being injury prone, but he only had one bad injury, and he came back from that injury and played 72 games, coming back out of shape and still average 9-9. What can I say?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? The fam. You got some who don't want him. I also believe in what he could do. When Mitchell Robinson's not, because everybody, we can't always get caught up in scoring. If you score 20 and the other dude scored 24, his plus minus better than yours to a degree. I think Mitchell Robinson, he might don't score a lot, but he don't give up a lot. You know what I mean? That even though Frank Ntilikina wasn't a good ball player, here's one thing about he didn't score a lot, but he didn't give up a lot. Marcus Smart, he don't score a lot, but he don't give up a lot. His plus minus is always there. Mitchell Robinson is one of them guys where he might not score a lot, but damn it, he not giving up a lot. So it kind of balances out. You can put scores around a guy like Mitch. Like I said, Clint Capella is the same. He was the same way for years. All Clint Capella do was rebound, block shots. You throw the ball to him, and he got $23 million, 18 or $20 million, and on a couple of contracts. So I think somebody like Mitchell Robinson, I guarantee you in New York, if you give Mitchell Robinson a point guard, a legit pass-first quarterback who know how to run a basketball team. Run a team, not just be out there scoring and blah, blah, blah. Get a point guard in New York who know how to find a guy, put him in his spots, know when it's time to hit him, and know where to hit him. Mitchell Robinson to be a double-double all day long because he's lengthy, he's athletic. He jump. It's a lot of centers in the league don't get up like Mitchell Robinson. They don't cover ground like Mitchell Robinson do. Mitchell Robinson, Dan, they can guard from 1 to 5. That alone is phenomenal to me. 1 to 5. You can go out to the 3-point line, and if you try to go in the paint against Mitchell Robinson, he will literally follow you in the paint and take your shit out the air. He that good. I mean, he does that. Look around the NBA. It's the only ones you see do stuff like that. Brandon Clark, maybe. It's not even Rudy Gobert don't go. He don't go out to the 3-point line and guard people. If your man get beat off a switch, Mitchell Robinson can guard your point guard off a switch because he's that athletic. I think he's worth his money. I don't have no problem giving Mitchell Robinson $15 million. You know, I really don't. I think he's that good the way he changed the game for New York, and he fits. And he's here. He understands the city. He fits the timeline. He's only 24. He's still young. So, you know, let's see, man. But I think him and Jericho Sims, because the topic is about Jericho Sims, but, you know, obviously it leads into Mitchell Robinson, obviously. But if the Knicks don't keep him, then it's fine. It is what it is. They move on from him. You move on from him. I don't have a problem with that neither. Either way it go, whatever the Knicks going to do, I'm still going to be a Knicks fan, so it don't matter. If they move on from Mitchell Robinson, I'm still going to love the Knicks. But I would love to see the Knicks reward him for playing on a $1.5 million for 4 years and get a man some money and let him remain in New York for a while. You know, and we can't keep drafting guys when it's time to steal them. We want to get rid of them. We've been doing that since Charlie Ward, bro. You know, every time we get a young guy and we don't think he's better than the next guy, we get rid of him. You know, so when is the last time the Knicks kept a guy after 4 years in the first round? They rookie contract. We haven't did it. You know, it's time to stop doing the old Knicks. Time we think a guy is not, we don't need him because he's about to give us some money. We want to ship him out of here. We've been doing that. That's why we've been abysmal for all these years. Keep the infrastructure together. Keep these teams, let these cats grow together like these other teams is doing. And that's why they in the playoffs and they doing what they doing. You know what I mean? Because they let these teams stay together. They let these guys grow together, and they rewarding them. And look at where they at now. They in the playoffs, man. You know, and I think we start got to doing things like that, man. And stop trying to ship everybody out because they don't fit the type of player that we think they are. Mitchell Robinson does a lot of good things for New York Knicks when he's in that game. When he's in the game, he does a lot of good stuff for New York. So I just think that, you know, for me, you know, from my standpoint, I think that we just got to get it. If we can afford to keep Mitch, give him his money. The man athletic, he can defense, he can rebound. The man is a phenomenal offense rebounder, 4th in the league in block shots this year. His defense numbers is good. If you get in the right point guard, I think he'd be good. So we'll see. But let's for Jericho Sims, which is about to me. Let's see what he do, man. I hope Jericho Sims come back. KJ, I hope he come back and have a better, you know, add on to what he did this year. Improve a little bit more. Then you got a solid rotation, a rotation backup center. I mean, if you think about it, you know, so him and Mitchell Robinson, I think it'd be a good. It's like one going out and the other coming in is the same guy almost. You know what I mean? It's like Mitchell Robinson goes to the bench and Jericho Sims come in. You're not losing too much. But, you know, and I think that would be a good thing to have for the Knicks if they can let him keep continuing his maturation, working on his game. I think Jericho Sims come back, he's gonna be done. I think he's gonna have a good year too as well.
Right, and that's what I want to see with him. What other thing did he work on this summer to say, you know what, this guy could potentially take over one day at that position? And that's all I want to see with Jericho Sims. I just think, to me, in year one, he had a phenomenal year, and I want to see more of it. I love the way he could rebound. Our big men for years couldn't rebound. We got a rebounder now, a guy that can go right back up, and he's tough. He's tough. He that one game against Brooklyn, he was up there banging boards with them veterans. You know, that's what we need in New York City. So to me, the type of player is, I ain't talking about his stats, but the type of player he is, from what we seen in year one, to me is great for this New York Knicks team.
Yeah. Real quick, just he said yesterday is gone, Devon. I think the next 60 months. Well, as far as I know, Joel Embiid is still here. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Davis is still here. Giannis Antetokounmpo is still here. You know what I mean? These guys are still in the league. They still dominating. Right now,
and they still young.
MVP in the league is Joel Embiid, Jokic. These cats is here, bro. These ain't going nowhere. They just got a different skill set, but they here. Let's not get it twisted. Jokic is a 2-time MVP or MVP. Giannis is 7 foot. He's the MVP. Joel Embiid is a 7 foot. He's an MVP. I mean, I understand what y'all saying about the young guy. Mitchell Robinson is not an old dude. He's 24. He's 24. If you go up in the landscape of the NBA, you still got big men in this league dominating. You know, think about my man who didn't play for the Golden State Warriors this year. James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Wiseman is here. He's a 7 footer. He's young, but he's here. They still big men. I disagree with that. I think if you go up and down the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, you go team by team, you still got young bigs down there. DeAndre Ayton is a big man. You know what I mean? These cats, look at what they're doing in Milwaukee right now. Why do you think they won a championship last year? Brook Lopez, 7 foot. Giannis, 7 foot. They got a big front line down there. These guys are still here, man. It's just that they might not be a lot of them, but Rudy Gobert is still here. I understand the league is getting younger. Obviously, it's got to get younger because as the kids get older, the other guys come in. But I think Joel Embiid going to be here for a minute. He still got 4 or 5 years left. I think Giannis got Dennis 7 years left. You know what I mean? I think these guys are still around, and I think they're not going nowhere. So you're never going to get rid of the big man in basketball. Now, the only thing different with some big men, they shoot farther outside, but they're still here. I mean, you know, so I do think I understand what y'all going. I have no problem with that, but Mitchell Robinson ain't no punk. Mitchell Robinson can hold his own. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Divine and Shot, can I ask y'all a question? Let's go over just 10 centers in the league right now, right? Nikola Jovic, Mitchell Robinson, who's better?
Jokic or Richard Robinson? Yeah, obviously Jokic is way better than
Joel Embiid.
That's what I was saying there. I don't get the part what you trying to count there.
Karl Anthony Towns. No, I'm just going over the top 10 centers in the NBA right now. Karl Anthony Towns.
But are you comparing Mitch to the top centers?
Yeah, I want to know what you guys think about this right now.
I don't think Mitch better than none of them, so I think that's
right.
Kind of
So I'm just going on the money that this guy may get. You know, like we comparing apples to oranges, but what I'm saying is these guys get paid. They got the bag right now. Mm-hmm. So we want to give Mitch the bag right now. So I'm just asking just questions for this team. He's 24. How do we think he is against these guys? And I'm saying he played well against all these guys.
He did.
You know, so I'm not saying he did. Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo. I'm not saying Mitchell Robinson. DeAndre asked Aiden, Jared Allen
gets him. He always give him problems.
And Giannis, you know, from Orlando. So my thing is, the point is that I'm trying to make is we know he could play against. We know he's due for his money, right? Mm-hmm. Now, out of all these guys I just named, if we replace Mitchell Robinson with one of those guys, would you guys be okay with that?
I mean, if you're going for a championship, yes, but look at how much more money they make than Mitch. Them cats making $35-40 million. See, that's the whole point. See, I think we can't compare Mitchell Robinson. I'm talking about not 2K in general.
Yeah.
No, Mitchell Robinson is not better than Giannis Antetokounmpo. We know he's not better than Jokic. I don't even know why people even put that in the chat. It has nothing to do with that. What does he mean for the Knicks? I'm not worried about what Joel Embiid do and Jokic do. Them cats is creme de la creme. Mitchell Robinson, what does he do for the Knicks? We know he's not better than Embiid. We know he's not better than Jokic. We know he's not better than Giannis. We know he's not better than them. But he also making half of what they making too. You understand what I'm saying? Jokic about to get $200-something million. We trying to give Mitchell Robinson $60 million. It's a big difference. You know what I mean? Mitchell Robinson is worth the money. All I'm saying as a Knicks fan, he is worth the money at his skill level. Mitchell Robinson is worth $15 million compared to Joel Embiid making 35, 40. Jokic about to get 40, 50. Rudy Gobert already getting 45, 37. We ain't asking you to give Mitchell Robinson that money. We asking you to give Mitchell Robinson the money that we think he worth. I think Mitchell Robinson, if Robert Williams for the Boston Celtics getting $14 million, you can't give Mitchell Robinson $15 million.
Right. And no, look, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, put yourself in Mitchell Robinson's team shoes. If we're me, you, and Sean, we're on that Mitchell Robinson train. We're on that team. We his agents, and we looked at all these guys, and we know Mitch can play against them. I'm trying to get Mr. Robinson the bag, the better bag on that team. And this is why I'm saying I think Mr. Robinson is worth more than $15-17 million a year. Based on that list I just named and the way he played those guys. So if I'm this don't forget the NBA, we all say it's a business. The business side is saying, hey, he's getting Collins about getting $30 million a year. How come Mitchell Robinson can't get that? He's younger. He can do this. So that's all I'm saying, guys. I think Mitchell Robinson can get paid more than $15-17 million a year. And are we willing to pay him again? Okay, Carlton, $30 million. Knicks say, you know what? I want my client wants $25 million a year. What are the Knicks going to do? Do we match that? That's why I said, what timeline the Knicks want to go in with Mitchell Robinson? Of course,
I can say this to that point, KJ. Some of those guys that you mentioned are maybe two to 4 years older than Mitchell Robinson. So they've been in the league a little bit longer than Mitchell Robinson. So for them to be getting those big bonus checks that they're getting, those $30 million, $40 million for the year and stuff like that, that they've been in the league and they've been proven. Mitchell Robinson's been in the league 4 years, and me personally, if I'm the front office, I'm looking to push to keep Mitchell Robinson and give him incentives. I believe in you, Mitchell Robinson. I want you to be here. I know you can get out on the open market 16, 17, maybe $18 million. What I want you to do is I want you to stay home with us. I want to offer you $13.5 million with incentives. If you believe in yourself, with the incentives, you can make 17, 18. How much of 13.5? You can offer him $5 million in incentives, where he'd be making $18.5 million now, closer to that $20 million mark. But you got to invest in yourself. That's the biggest thing that I would offer to him, because the way they were saying in the beginning, what they offered Mitchell Robinson was somewhere about, I think I heard something like $10 million, or Mitch is looking to get $16 million. I believe that they could come into that medium. They got a couple more weeks before they could come into that medium. 13.5 with incentives. You invest in yourself, Mitch Robinson, you can make $18 million next year. You can make $22 million the following year. If you make an all-star team, you can, all those things come into, that's when, in 3 years, 4 years, when he's about 27, 28, if he stays healthy, he'll be ready to get one of those big super contracts. Maybe not 45 million, but maybe closer to 20, 27, 28 million dollars. I believe something like that. I don't believe Mitchell Robinson is in the class of making $30 million right now. Plus the guys that you mentioned are probably 2 to 4 years older than Mitchell Robinson, 2, 4, 5 years older. I know, and some of these guys you mentioned, a couple of years already, then signed the minimum contract, already extended to a bigger contract. So I think if you give Mitchell 3, 4 years on the next couple of contracts, he'll still be around 27, 28, around the same age as the guys that you just mentioned. Then we can open up the conversation of if Mitch in the last 4 years has elevated his game to 16 points and 16 rebounds a game with 5 block shots and 2 steals and a partridge in a pear tree. Then we can open up the conversation about giving him that big bag. But right now, I'm guessing. I don't really know, but I don't think nobody's going to offer Mitchell Robinson $20 million. Miami, Detroit, none of those guys, I don't think that. But do I think they could get closer to like 17, 18 million? Yeah, I think they could get closer to 17, 18 million without any provisions like the incentives that I say. I think someone could give him $17 million. And if it depending on the team it is, if there's a true point guard there, he might decide that he might want to go there.
Yeah. I think it's all about getting. First of all, Knicks got to get a point guard, because obviously people like Mitchell Robinson need a point guard. I mean, centers need a point guard. You ain't got a point guard to throw the ball to him. He ain't gonna do nothing. If you look at the Knicks game this year, Alex Burks and Kemba Walker, they score first point guards. They was averaging 2 or 3 assists a game. And out of them 2 or 3 assists a game, they probably was going to Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. It wasn't going to Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? So I think we underestimate the value of Mitchell Robinson because his numbers, because he don't have a true point guard. Can you imagine, put like this here, imagine him with a Ricky Rubio or a Chris Paul or something like that. You know what I mean? Who know how to run a basketball team. Just literally know how to run a team. I can see Chris Paul and Mitchell Robinson here like he and DeAndre Ayton and Mitchell Mitch.
Yeah.
When that guy slide up, I want you to go that way, or I want you to go that way, or if the guy come off a curl, Mitch, I want you to do this. He don't have guys like that. You know what I mean? So he hasn't had them like that. So you gotta. It'll be like this here. If you Daniel Jones and Odell Beckham was on that team, I mean, vice versa. If you had a guy like OBJ, but the quarterback he was with wasn't a good quarterback, OBJ numbers wouldn't be good because that quarterback don't know where to give him the football to.
Facts.
All I'm saying,
I know I see where you're going with that.
So if you get a legit point guard in New York City who's a pass first point guard who know how to run a basketball team, Mitchell Robinson will be 15 to 12 all day.
What'd you say, D'Angelo Russell? What you just said, Devon? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get me a pass first point guard, and then you can see what Mitch can do. Because I really think that's a big part of the reason why. Because like Mitch was saying, Mitch throws subliminal tweets every now and then. You know, I think they got me here just sprinting up and down the floor. Mitch probably he got game. You know what I mean? He probably they don't give it to him like that. So I think just try to, you know, hopefully him and Jericho Sims is the guy. I guess what I'm trying to say
right.
I want him and Jericho Sims to be the citizens of New York for the next.
Okay.
That's really what I'm going down.
And that's valid. But like I said, I'm on my brother Parrish Duggar train. And that's kind of what. And like I said, I like Mitchell Robinson. And to answer whoever put it in the chat, yeah, I definitely want to develop the team. I'm not looking for superstar because it shows that superstars, not too many superstars together, doesn't really work in this new NBA right now. If that's the case, the Lakers would have won, would be in the championship this year, or you know, things of that nature. So my thing is, I know it's on Sims and the whole Mitchell Robinson thing. Look, if we had a glass ball right now, we shook it up, we all right now. We all our takes is correct. Again, we've been struggling Knicks fans for a very long time. So my thing is, anything we say could possibly work. We don't know. It could be Mitchell Robinson. It could be this one. It could be Obi Toppin and Jericho Sims for all I know, which I really like. But again, I agree with you both, Sean Devine. Mitchell Robinson is a difference maker on the defense and on his team. And it showed this year when he did go out the game that the defense wasn't as good.
9-5.
Yeah. Hey, let me hit y'all up with this NBA talk. I think y'all got to cool out with that superstar stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. Giannis is a superstar. He's about to go to the finals. Steph Curry is a superstar. He about to go to the finals. Devin Booker and Chris Paul is a superstar. They're about to go to the finals.
That's what I'm saying.
Stay here. You got to have superstars to win in this league. You got to have them. You got to have creme de la creme players. In crunch time, they not folding. That's why they get the bag. I understand Brooklyn might not be there. KD and LeBron, they not there not because of their skills, so they did because of injuries. If Anthony Davis wouldn't have went down, LeBron averaged 30 points a game this year, bro. Yeah. This is a superstar-driven league. I mean, the guy, John Morant is on the verge of becoming a superstar. So let's cool it with because Giannis is a superstar. He won the ring last year. Giannis might win it again this year. Steph Curry is a superstar. He about to win another ring, maybe. Joel Embiid is a superstar. He's right there 2-2 with the Miami Heat. These guys is here, bro. They ain't going nowhere. And you know it's going to be a superstar after them. That's the Knicks' problem. When the last time we had a superstar? Think about it.
Patrick Ewing.
Bro, that's why we didn't win nowhere.
Melo was probably our last.
Melo got us to 54 games, and you know, they ain't put nobody around Melo. You know, and when they did do it, Stoudemire hits his hand on the fire extinguisher, which messes up our chances.
Don't bring that back up, man.
Man, this is a superstar.
Yeah, fire hydrants, whatever you do, the fire thing, whatever you do.
So what I'm saying is, if you look at the teams in the playoffs right now, they all superstars up in there. Them the dudes that get the money. They win the game. That's why they get the bag because they superstar. And I think Giannis is about to listen. I think Boston. Jason Tatum is about to become a superstar. He's on the cusp of being a superstar. So they out there, but you got to get there though. But I think that we also gotta find a way. That's why I want to see us, develop these young guys we got, right? You say that for the next 2 or 3 years, you develop these young guys we got. Then when it's time to strike the clock, strike the 20, you go get a superstar.
That's what I'm saying.
You already got the team. You built the young guys up for 2 or 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Now they ready.
Their value is more too.
Yeah, you could you could keep him and go get a superstar. So that I think RJ, he think about him next year. RJ, I guarantee you, y'all heard me say on Knicks Real Talk this year. If RJ gonna go into the off season, he's gonna develop his foul shooting, gonna be better. He's gonna work on his shooting game better. RJ Barrett will be in his 4th year next year, averaging over 23 or 24 points a game. You could book that because that's how you grow into being a superstar. Everybody down on RJ, we knew coming out of college he wasn't a good shooter. We knew that. Coming out of Duke, RJ Barrett was not a good shooter. And he still put up 20 points a game on unefficient numbers. Imagine when his efficiency get better. So he might be, that's the reason why you got to look at him in totality. Like, maybe, you know what? Watch RJ next year. I guarantee y'all next year, RJ Barrett will be averaging 23 points a game, and he'll make the All-Star team in the East. I bet you.
I believe so too. And if hypothetically speaking, if RJ is only 21, he will only be a senior in college right now. So he would just be coming out probably this year. So he has a lot. He fixes his if RJ fixes his free throw percentage and his field goal percentage, RJ is destined to be in a close. They probably snub him another year again, but he'll probably be close with numbers that can possibly be around 24 to 26 points a game, and probably his rebound would probably be around 5 or 6. His assists would probably be around 5 or 6. He could be a steadfast player for next year. He just has to elevate his game a little bit.
Yeah, man. Listen, this year if RJ wasn't missing free throws the way he missed them, RJ get up in the high 70s shooting free throws, it's a wrap. Because think about it. Here's the difference. Julius Randle shoots better than RJ, but RJ gets to the hole better than Julius Randle. Think about it. What makes Julius Randle game better than RJ? Because Randle's a better shooter. But Julius Randle don't get down the hill like RJ consistently. RJ gets to the cup a lot. He gets fouled a lot. All he got to do is, because he's so strong. Sometimes you think RJ is like a 7-footer when he shoots free throws. He's so strong up here, he don't got it in the wrist. But think about the year before this year, the man shot 39% from the 3-point line. Granted, everybody did good the year before that the year, the COVID year. But I do think that we got to hopefully these guys grow, KJ. Like I said, hopefully they grow and they grow into something special. Then and then like you said, when it's time for the Donovan Mitchell to be in that last year, or a Cat to be in the last year of his contract. Okay, now you can put him with these guys and just say, okay, wow, you know what? Now they can look like the Boston Celtics of the world. They can look like the Memphis Grizzlies of the world. You just got to give these kids got enough time to grow and get better. And I think once they do that, I think we got some young good talent down there. I'm high on Quentin Grimes. I'm high on McBride. I'm high on Quickly. Obi. I'm high on all these guys. I think these guys that's why I want to see the Knicks do with these guys, KJ, the next couple of years. Let these young guys play for a couple of more years together. They still on their rookie deals. Obviously we got to let Cam Reddish and RJ get them their money, what they need to give them. But if you could keep these 7 or 8 guys together and put Mitch in the fold with them, I think you got a good thing brewing in New York, man. I really do. And I think that in 2 or 3 years from now, we'd be ready to make it happen. I really believe that. I think we'd be able to make it happen. We make it happen.
Yeah, we just don't know their plan. Like maybe this is their plan. We don't know which way they want to go. Again, we know they rolled the dice. They rolled the dice this year. We all know that by bringing Fournier. They rolled the dice, and it was like, you know what? It's a good gamble. We know that the contracts with Noel Burks, they were great. They were tradable contracts. They rolled the dice, right? So now year 3 with this new front office, which direction are they going to go in? But we won't know until 2 weeks from now, fellas. 2 weeks from now, that to me is going to determine which way are we going to develop, or are we going for the big fish. And I'm going to keep saying that going into the draft lottery. Again, I'm here to tell you, if we get a top 5 pick, You might as well pack the bags, and we might break everything up and bring in a big fish in. But if we don't, we develop.
But hey, Paris Duggar got my boy right there, Jeremy Chacon. That's my man. That's who
I like Chacon too.
Yeah,
I like that Ben Mathurin though, man. Ben,
he's nice. Jeremy Chacon and Daniel, I love.
So give me Ivy from Purdue. I'll take that.
Yeah.
What he showed me in the national championship against my Carolina Tar Heels, I was like, yo, that boy gonna be nice. He's 18 too. He gonna be good. He's gonna be good. I love to see him play in New York. If he fall to New York, the Knicks better get him. Yeah, boy, they better get Chacon, brother. So
we got 2 picks this year too. We got a second round pick.
Yep. Yeah, the 40.
I mean, it's late. I think it's a late second round after 30, but I think we got a 30. I think we got a second round and a first round. I mean, I believe it. Like you said, KJ, earlier today, man. I believe this how we how we put this team together this year is going to be on who and where we pick at on that draft board this year. The top 4, we may keep them. Top 5, I think if we get in top 5, I think we may keep them. If we still stay down towards the bottom numbers, I think that might be a first round pick to package with somebody to move somebody to make room for some people.
Yeah, we need that 6'10" right there, man. Listen, do you get him down here? See, that's what I mean. If you get a guy like Jeremy 6'10", we need length and wings down there. We, like I said, other than Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims, we a short team. We short all the way across the board. You know, Julius Randle literally 6'8", 6'9". I don't even think he's 6'9". I think Julius Randle 6'8". You know what I mean? We just so short up front. You know what I mean? But I like that dude though. I liked him from day one. I like, okay, he's gonna be nice when he gets to the pros. So you just can see some guys and they skill set and what they do. And I think he fit a Tom Thibodeau type of team because he hustles a lot. He's good on the boards. He go at it. He go at it, bro. So I'm hoping that's one guy that I'm really big on. Obviously, you know who I want, my man from Auburn, Smith, but we know he ain't falling. But unless we climb up, then Jabari Smith, that's my man. I would love to get him, but I know we ain't gonna be up that high. It's gonna be interesting. The draft gonna be pretty hyped next week, guys. I think I'm gonna be pretty excited next week, man. Over the next couple of weeks, whatever. We'll see what we're gonna do with that draft pick. Hopefully, if we get to move up a spot, we can move up to the 8th spot. Then we guaranteed to get one of these guys we talk about. Something in that realm. We can get up maybe for the luck of something. We can get up to around the 8th spot. I think we'd be all right, and that's why I don't want to go. I'm not too concerned about going out there to try to get these high name guys that's making 30, 40 million. The only reason I got me and KJ never said about the Russell Wilson because you could dump a lot of salary. A lot of salary for a 1 year guy like him, and he still got game in him. But I like that though. I really, I definitely like them dudes, man. I really think So I think I'm excited about what we got coming up for, man. I'm excited what we got as a team right now. I like all the talent we got there, and I think the way the season went because of the the injuries and all that didn't pan out the way it did. But sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, though. And I think that the blessing was that we got to see these young guys, Obi Toppin, develop a little more. We got to see Quickly develop a little more, and let's hopefully they go into their 3rd year. And they be even better, because that's what it's about. It's about get the growth and development. You know what I mean? Getting better every year you in the league. You come in 1 year, you get in the NBA, you're fresh, you're a freshman in the NBA. You learn, you go through all your ups and downs, the peaks and valleys because you're a rookie. Then the next year you come out, you learn a little bit more, you get a little better. Then in your 3rd year, you come back, you get even more better. And I think that's what these guys are doing. I think everybody on that team will come back better next year. I can guarantee you that because that's the way this organization is built right now with Scott Perry. They're about developing these guys. The one thing about Tom Thibodeau, you might not like his rotation, you might not like something, but he do got them guys developing though. You know what I mean? So let's see if they take forward Shaw Powers and just have some maturation, man, and let Jericho Sims and all them guys work on their craft in the summer, man. Come in the summer league, get it popping, go into training camp, get it popping, and then we really see what's going on with the league so far.
I say this. I don't know exactly how Leon Rose said it in his interview that he had with Mike, but he said something to the emphasis of playing young. we want to play young. And if they're on the move of playing young, the best way to do it right now is to get a hold of this young core that we have right now, these 7 to 9 players right now, and really hold on to them for the next 1 or 2 years. Everyone talks about Tibbs, being the coach and stuff like that, but we only have Tibbs for maybe 1 more year. Let's look at it hypothetically. If only way we get Tibbs for the 4th year is if we make it to the playoffs, then we may get another year of Tibbs. But if we have a decent season, we don't make if we make the play-in or make it to the playoffs, we still may shed ways with Thibodeau because he's on a 3-year guaranteed, 2-year possible or something like that. I forgot exactly how it's called, but if this could be the building season for Tom Thibodeau to build this team up and pass it on to Johnny Bryan next season and see what he does with the young core that we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting in New York, man. Real talk, man. I like the way it's going, though. I'm not disappointed, like I said, because we didn't make the playoff this year because of the injury situation. Derrick Rose and Nerlens Noel, the big parts of our team that we missed this year, and obviously Kemba Walker didn't work out. But I'm happy with the like I said, the maturation of the young guys. I'm happy with the talent. Give Tibbs the credit for who they brought in here. I love Deuce McBride. Like I said, I call him my young new Greg Anthony. I like Quentin Grimes. I think he did his shot is like an Allen Houston jump shot away from being phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think he's there, and I think quickly and Obi's there. I think now all we gotta do is hope Cam Reddish come back off that shoulder injury, and go into the summer in a contract year. Him and RJ gonna put it up this year because they in the contract year. Them cats gonna get it popping.
And happy birthday to Grimes. Today's his birthday.
Yeah, real talk. But yeah, overall, man, I'm not disappointed by no means with the Knicks young talent they drafted in the last couple of years. Whether Mitchell Robinson's here or not, it remains to be seen. But if he come back, it's all good. If he don't come back, we wish him the best wherever he go. Go get it popping, young man. Because once a Knick, always a Knick, brother. Real talk. So but let's hope these guys they can find a way to move some of these veteran guys that's don't really need to be here per se, and let the young guys get it popping.
Yeah,
you're right, Cash Out. That's what I'm really. Cash Out hit it dead on the nose with me. We go young and make the play in. It's a successful season.
Successful. No doubt about it.
And
no doubt about it.
Then the next year you go to another level. That's what it's really about. It's about the elevation. The elevation. You know what I mean?
We keep saying these things too because even if we don't move off of Burks or some of these expiring contracts after this year, whatever contracts that we don't get rid of this year, set aside from Randle and Fournier, are off our books. If we don't move Burks, if we don't move Noel, if we don't move Kemba, if we don't move D Rose, all of these contracts are coming off our books next year. You know what I mean? So if we can move some of them and play the rest of the year out with maybe if we do keep Burks and Rose or whatever 2 combinations you want. I don't think Noel's going to be here. I think they're going to try to push Burks. I think they're going to try to move on from Kemba. But set aside, if we don't do anything else but sign Mitchell Robinson and run the whole team back that we have this year, by next year we'll have, at least by the trade deadline, we'll have a lot of these contracts coming off our books to set us up for the 23-24 year. And 23-24, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have 5 picks in that draft as well, 2 first rounders and 3 second rounders.
Hey KJ, real quick, where do you think the Knicks gonna land in the draft lottery this year?
I'm giving them that lucky 7.
It was 7.
We going 7.
7. What about you, Shah?
I was gonna say 8. So I think we've been hitting 8 for the last couple of years. I think we got 2 players that we just drafted not too long ago. If I'm not mistaken, Obi was 8th, and a couple of years back, Knox was. I believe Knox was like 8th. So I think we're somewhere around the 8th pick. I think we get a little lucky, but not the full gusto.
I'm gonna go and be on the optimist side. I'm gonna go Knicks going to get the 7th pick.
7th pick, right?
7th pick. I'm gonna go Knicks get the 7th pick in the draft. What they do with it, who knows? But I'm gonna say they're gonna move up to the 7th. What y'all think, Chad? Where y'all think the Knicks gonna land in the lot? If y'all had a guess where you think the Knicks gonna be in the lottery, I'm gonna go. They're gonna wind up in the 7th spot. I think they can get there. I think the ball got to fall for us this year.
7 and 8 is a good spot to pick, man, because it's a lot of guys that are coming up and a lot of guys that are dropping down. So 7, 8, those are good numbers right there. Even 9th and 10th, you know, even if we could move up two positions from what we had a 12 now or 11 or 12. If we could move up if we could move up 2 or 3 spots, man, I'm happy with 7. I'm happy with 8.
Hey, Cash, I said if we get to 7 who I'm drafting.
It depends on who's left.
Yeah, it depends on who left. Basically, yeah, that's true. All depends on who left. But I take my man Jeremy even with the 7th pick. Just because I like him. I just think he fits the Knicks. So I would definitely take him. But you know what? Maturation is nice. Ben, he's nice. It's not a nice guy out there, man. If a Jabari is available at 7, you can book it.
Oh man, please.
Yo, if Jabari there at 7, man, come on, boy, you can book that one. I think my man Banchero go. Who you think going number 1?
I mean, see, I like Ivy to Purdue. I like Purdue, but depends on who gets that number 1. It all depends on what the need is. But if I'm just anybody, I'm going Ivy.
Hey man, hey, keep turning, boy. I hope that become a reality. If we get the 4th pick, brother. What? Hey, Keith, I'm gonna wish that into fruition, brother. Hey, listen. Remember that year? New Orleans Pelicans had the 14th pick and got Zion. Anything can happen.
That number 1, yeah, that's crazy.
Anything can happen. You know what I mean?
They cheated us that one, man. We supposed to get the number 1 pick, remember?
Yeah.
But we picked Zion. We've been in the same situation as Zion and Pelicans are right now, right? We've been crying like, oh man, we should have drafted John Morant. Tibbs signed a 5-year contract too. 2024, 2025 would be his last season.
Last year, right? Yeah. But I think I'll tell you what, though, to be honest with you, if we wouldn't have got injured this year, I think we wouldn't be so down on Tibbs, a lot of people.
Injuries, free throws, and turnovers.
Turnovers, right?
Yeah, turnovers killed us this year. I think we were like 15 in turnovers and 72% from free throws. That's unacceptable for our team, even with Mitchell Robinson on the team. Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, that's why I like you're right, Paris. You're right. We need. I really believe we need some length up there, some good wings, 6'10". I want to see somebody at least 6'10" come on the Knicks, man. Like I said, other than Jericho Sims and Mitchell Robinson, we small down there, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Devon and Shaw. Also, based on the way the Knicks have drafted in the past couple of years, getting Sims at 58, IQ and Grimes, they could possibly trade that pick because I believe these guys know how to get talent late. Late in the first round, late in the second round, we see what these guys are after. So I could see them even trading out of that pick and getting more assets back, or getting a vet to come, or somebody to come in here to play with this team right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Real talk. We are Nick 100. You're 100% right. We are a small team all around, man. That's why we got to get some lengthy dudes down here, man. Some young athletic cats who got length. You know what I mean? So I'm looking to see what we're gonna do in the draft. I'm excited about it, man. I think it's some good opportunities there. I know we got to get out here in a few, man. I got a stress test tomorrow, so I got to be out 7 o'clock in the morning and all that.
Ooh, you safe, man? Yeah.
All good. I think it's a preliminary. Maybe we getting up here at 8, but I ain't about they buy a trip.
Hey, but you know what, Devon? That's good, man. We all as men, and when we got to take care of our health. So, hey, men, go get that checkup once a year. I gotta get myself a checkup. Devon, I say, you know what? Thank you, Devon, for saying that, because I gotta call my doctor tomorrow. Just check
money from me every 3 months. I'm like, come get
it's important. Go get that checkup. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, man. But good, great show, Jericho Sims. Real quick, man. Hey, that cat, I didn't get to throw it up there, but I just want to put it up there. His contract is crazy nice. He ain't even making no money, yo. Look, check out this contract.
He like under $1 million.
Yeah, he ain't making no money, man. But so you better keep him for a minute. look at he really, because he left no dollars because he on a 2-way. Look at his salary, bro.
I'll take it.
And you only got a $1.6 million cap hold 2023, 2024. That's why you keep him. That's why you keep him in Mitch. And if you keep Mitch, hey, I ain't mad at him. He got that what? Because he got that two-way contract. So that's how much a two-way play guy. They don't make that much down there. I don't even think it's $1 million. I think it's like in the hundreds of thousands. I think. I'm not sure. I got to check that out to be honest with you. But yeah, he ain't on a cheap deal. So let's hope Jericho Sims. I think they're just going to turn that into a contract, though, fellas. I do think they will finally do that. I think they'll try to convert him. Maybe give him Mitchell Robinson money, like the $1.7 million. They probably throw him that same type of contract Mitchell Robinson had.
Yeah, what was the two-way? It was like 900 and some.
Yeah,
900,000 or something.
I think it's less than that, man. I double check. If anybody know what a two-way contract is, then stat-wise, without me had to go look it up, y'all let me know.
I think I wrote it down somewhere.
Okay, yeah, but because it's non-guaranteed, but that's a good contract there, man. So you never know what that situation is. Yeah, man. Listen, guys, y'all cast the chat is where it's at, man. Y'all already know, man. We can do this all night, but Monday comes, everybody got to get on their grind, get ready to go make the donuts. Like we used to say back in the days, the time to make the money. So we got to go and get our bag to pay these bills and all that good stuff. But your cats got to pop it, man. KJ, my man, Shop.
Yeah.
Y'all, we gonna hit y'all with the promo again. We gonna get up out here. Knicks Real Talk. We'll see y'all Thursday. We're gonna do the other two players. I guess we're gonna have to go into the guys you probably really don't want to do, but I'm gonna have to do Alex Burks and we're gonna do Alex Burks and Derrick Rose. Then after that, you only got Noel and McCollum left. So then we
that's a good one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Those two guys, that's going to be something that that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we do Derrick Rose and Alex Burks on Thursday player review. Then after that, only thing got left Noel and Kimba, and then it'd be time for the draft. So I think the player review went well. It took us up to the draft time, right where we wanted.
Yep.
Right on time.
Right on time.
Talk about after.
Yeah, but salute to the most powerful chat in the business. You cats are so wise and intelligent in there, man. Y'all always keep us on our P's and Q's. I mean, without you cats, it ain't no thing, man. Real talk, man. Your cats is really, really on fire up in there. Y'all know your stuff. So I'm glad y'all being a part of this thing, man, and joining us and all this stuff, man. Real talk, man. Y'all cats have a great week, man, and be safe out there. Be careful. Enjoy your time. Go get your money, get your grind, get your education, do what you do, but just be safe out there. And Knicks Real Talk, Devon, Shaw, KJ, we'll see you cats on Thursday, man. Let something pop that we had to jump on before then. Something phenomenal pop up, but if it don't, we'll see y'all. Let's get it. The promo, Knicks Real Talk, the chat. We out. Peace.
Let's get
Time for Divine Shot, KJ events. This Real Talk's the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Nick shit, dripping in Nick shit. Up in the world, most famous arena with the click. That's the conglomerate. The Knicks Real Talk, the real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variant, dominant. Paying homage to the cat in the chat. That's where it's at. Cause I'm hearing that. You don't care for hyperbole, you straight facts. We interact with the mob, the gods. Up in the pod, the squad, the facade. The entourage, be on the job, my energy. Figure took it in 10 books. As they took my game plan, let my brand for loop and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that the Knicks we know is pretty, but we all stay giddy. But we embrace the fan base like the late Anthony Mace. We create the logo when there's hair space that appear like square space. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, look at that Knicks City drip. Infinity Jackson's on the court, looking pretty legit. I say true to the orange and blue. I thought you knew for him a few bars to shine like stars divine the Mount Mars. Knicks Real Talk. Here we go, let's go.
Knicks Real Talk right here. I'm representing
Knicks Real Talk.
right here. Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
We here in the building.
Knicks Real Talk.
Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Knicks Real Talk.
We here.
Here we go,
in the
let's go.
building. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. One more time, it's flavor. Time for Divine Shot, KJ events. This Real Talk's the brand. You understand how we do, my man. I'm on that Friday night Nick shit, dripping in Nick shit. Up in the world, most famous arena with the click. That's the conglomerate. The Knicks Real Talk, the real prominent. I'm a bit like the Omicron variant, dominant. Paying homage to the cat in the chat. That's where it's at. Cause I'm hearing that. You don't care for hyperbole, you straight facts. We interact with the mob, the gods. Up in the pod, the squad, the facade. The entourage, be on the job, my energy. Figure took it in 10 books. As they took my game plan, let my brand for loop and pursuit. Going hard like the New York City gritty committee. Cause that the Knicks we know is pretty, but we all stay giddy. But we embrace the fan base like the late Anthony Mace. We Straight the logo windows, head space that appear like square space. Staring down on the Chase Bridge, looking at Knicks City drip. Infinity decks is on the court, looking pretty legit. I think true to the orange and blue. I thought you knew for him a few bars to shine like stars divine on Mount Mars. Knicks real talk. Here we go, let's go.
Knicks real talk right here. I'm representing
Knicks real talk.
right here. Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
We here in the building.
Knicks real talk.
Let's get it.
Here we go, let's go.
Yeah, for real. Yes, sir.
Knicks real talk.
We here.
Here we go,
in the
let's
building.
go.